Time now for the Erickson Countdown to Kickoff. It's a classic black and blue battle from Detroit as the Lions host the defending Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers. Dick Stockton and Matt Millen are ready to bring you all the action, so right now let's send you on out to the Silverdome in Pontiac.
And we have a sellout crowd here at the Pontiac Silverdome, and there are Packer fans here as well in an NFC Central battle between the 3-1 Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions, who come in with a record of 2 wins and 2 losses. Hello, everybody. I'm Dick Stockton alongside Matt Millen, and Mike Holmgren told us yesterday that the one concern he still has is on the defensive side of the ball, and today he will not have starting cornerback Doug Evans, and that's got to present some problems for him.
Well, it presents more of a problem. When you have Evans out and you already have Newsom out, now that puts extra added pressure on your backup. And when you're going to have backups out there and you're having Herman Moore and Morton, now you're going to have to try to help him. Here's your problem. Number 20, Barry Sanders. He's always the focus. And when you have Sanders, you have to stop the run. That means Leroy Butler's got to be at the line of scrimmage. Now here's the paradox. He's got to be able to help outside as well as in. Should be a great game.
Now, the Lions had a bad practice week before. They had a very bad game against the New Orleans Saints. Bobby Ross told us the practice was a little better this time around. What do the Lions need to do to pull an upset today?
Well, they have to play much better defense. See, the Lions, in terms of personnel, they have to do everything right. And the one thing they're going to have to really do right today is disrupt the timing with Brett Favre. If Favre has time, if he can get rid of the ball quick, it's going to get ugly. Now, if they can get to him, get some hits on him, disrupt the timing with their passers, with the receivers, then they have themselves a chance. They've got to get that one done.
So the Lions and the Packers in an age-old rivalry coming up.
Not the way we did it last year.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
Mo Martin, Martin always gives Mo.
His face belongs on the tissue.
Much more comedy. Just say Mo Martin, 5 days a week.
Weeknights on Fox 33.
Well, if I had money to tell you what to do, I'd go downtown, buy a Ford truck or two. Crazy about a Ford truck.
America's best Ford Ranger and Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the Ford F-150. Save up to $2,350. For savings on Ranger, try $1,000 cash back. 4-8 financing for 48 months on Explorer. It's one tough choice. Clearance ends October 1st.
The best built, best-selling American trucks are built Ford tough. Woo!
Hollywood Pictures proudly presents the most powerful motion picture of the summer.
I only miss you here, like the song springs on up.
From the director of Thelma and Louise. Demi Moore, G.I. Jane, rated R. Now playing at a theater near you.
Why shop the department stores when S&K has thousands of suits on sale? Right now, you can take home 2 S&K suits for less than you'd expect to pay for 1 department store suit. And you get 2 for under $200. So pick up your next double play at S&K.
Grow with the flow.
I always hated that dynasty.
On Frasier.
Tomorrow at 6:30 on Fox 33.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
Okay, guys, going out for lunch. You know the rules.
No doggy bags for you.
Oh, and Scooter, get off the counter.
Ericsson mobile phones. That's the power of voice.
Pets are so much trouble. Huh, not my little angel.
And now, the Erickson Countdown continues.
Back at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, in an NFC Central battle, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, surprising, out to a 4-0 start. They play Arizona today, and the Packers right behind, and Detroit tied with the Minnesota Vikings. Last year, there were 30,000 Packer fans, and they kind of overrode the Lion rooters here. This year there are fewer Packer fans and they're more scattered as the Lions organization kind of upset that for a Detroit home game you heard a lot of Green Bay crowd.
I think the funny thing was they said, okay, we'll cut your tickets back and we're going to spread you out all over the place.
But I saw a group together with a lot of those cheeseheads. Lions will get the ball first. Glenn Milburn is back to receive. And Ryan Longwell kicks off for the Packers. It is a short kick. And Milburn on the 10 muffs the ball. And Milburn recovers and brings it out to the 25. A good recovery by Glenn Milburn. And the quarterback, Scott Mitchell, heard the boos from the crowd when he was introduced before the game. That's not going to do much for his psyche. Last week had a disastrous game, including being sacked 5 times. The offensive line, and Kevin Glover, the veteran, in the middle. Larry Tharp will have his work cut out at right tackle. The incomparable Barry Sanders and Herman Moore, 2 of the aces in the backfield and on the receiving end for the Lions. Barry Sanders' first carry, and he gets a couple. Defensively for the Packers, and a defensive line featuring the veteran Reggie White. Gilbert Brown, shaken up last week, back in the lineup. Bernardo Harris having a terrific season at middle linebacker for the Packers. And the change, Roderick Mullen for Doug Evans at cornerback. Tyrone Williams had replaced Craig Newsome. 2nd down and 8 on the Lions 26. And a play fake. Rolling out is Mitchell, and the pass was intended for Metzelars, the tight end. Incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
In order for this Detroit Lion offense to do well today, the guy who has to play well is Scott Mitchell. And that's kind of a given in every offense, but today even more so, and here's why. What's going to happen is there's going to be a delicate balance between helping the wide receivers and the run game against Barry Sanders with Leroy Butler. It's going to be Mitchell's job to be able to recognize that and make the change at the line of scrimmage and go to the same people, the right people.
Packers allowed a touchdown a week ago to the Vikings, unusual for them. 3rd down and 8. Mitchell gets time, and his pass to Herman Moore, who turns around and makes a great catch, but is short of the 1st down by about a yard. Leroy Butler was covering the tall Herman Moore.
And you see the great catch, and you go out, unbelievable, guess what? No 1st down, so that's a plus for the defense. See, they win. They have to get the ball into the hands of Herman Moore if he's going to do well, especially consider the fact that you have backup corners in there.
John Jett will kick it away. You saw Scott Mitchell looking up at the replay, but Moore did not come close to getting to the sticks. Derek Mays back to receive the punt. Bill Schrader, who had fumbled twice in the last 2 weeks, has lost his job temporarily. And a good kick by Jett. Mays inside is 15. Turning the corner and ridden out of bounds by George Jameson. 55-yard punt by Jett, and Brett Favre, who broke Bart Starr's all-time touchdown record for a Packer, throwing 5 last week against the Vikings. He's having another MVP season. John Michaels getting the nod over Ross Burba at left tackle. And Jeff Dellenbach remains at center. Levens and Henderson in the backfield. Brooks and Freeman, the wide receivers. And Mark Shimura, the tight end. Shimura still playing despite a knee injury. From the 34, Favre will try to go to the air on 1st down. Here's Henderson. And Henderson is stopped on a fine play. Reggie Brown would not let him get away. A gain of 3. Defensively, and this is the weak point for the Lions. Robert Porcher, Kerwin Waldrop, the ends, Luther Ellis, and Mike Wells. Reggie Brown, Stephen Boyd, and George Jameson starting at strong side linebacker to protect against the run. Raymond Carrier, Harry Colon, and the rookie Bryant Westbrook in the secondary. 2nd down and 8. This time Favre hands off to Dorsey Levens, and nothing there.
Watch this Green Bay offense. Everything comes back to Brett Favre. And what Favre does is stuff you can't coach. You know, you look at this Lion defense, you say, we have to take this, we have to disrupt timing, we have to get some hits. Sometimes you can do all those things against Favre, and he'll still beat you because he's the best improvisational quarterback in the league.
And it looks like he really finds his stride after the first quarter. 3rd and 8. Stepping up, gets hit as he throws downfield, and it's caught by Antonio Freeman.
Remember, I just got done saying you can do everything right, and it still goes against you? That play was defensed perfectly.
Even by accident, he completes them.
And what happens, Joe, Favre's going to get some pressure. He knows where he wants to go. It's to the middle of the field. You're going to watch John Michaels working up top, and he just gets the hit, and the ball comes off the hand, and it flutters. Now, Carrier misjudges the ball. Freeman comes down with it. They had everything done right. Kerwin Waldrop gets the pressure, gets the hit. The ball goes flopping up there. It's a wounded duck, but it's a big play.
And only Brett Favre can probably connect on a 38-yard pass play on a wounded duck. Packers first down at the Lion 28 with a threat. And the pass to Thomason. The second tight end incomplete, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Good pressure that time by Robert Forshea.
You know what I'm starting to see in Brett Favre that he didn't have last year? Watch this, number 4 right here. He has Montana in him. And what it is control of the whole system. See, he's looking down here. It's not there. He looks here, it's not there, so he comes back underneath. When you see that, that means that as a quarterback, you've matured to the point where you have a full understanding of the whole system. That's a tremendous asset to the guy who's calling the plays, who in this case is Mike Holmgren.
And he can throw in an unorthodox style many times and complete passes as well. 2nd down and 10. Here's Dorsey Levens going outside. And Levens is run out of bounds. And that will bring up 3rd down after a gain of 2.
Let's look at the balance sheet for the Detroit Lions defense. Not the biggest group. Okay, they don't have a lot of size. They have some size inside. Their ends are small, which means they're probably speed pass rushes up the field. Their secondary, they're having problems back there. They're young. They have to learn, and they're learning on the run, particularly Bryant Westbrook. Here's a guy who's got skills, but he has to learn how to use them within the scheme.
6 defensive backs, and Terry Mickens, the 3rd wide receiver for the Packers on 3rd and 8. Here comes the pressure, and the quick pass to Brooks, and a first down. And only a Brett Favre and a Brooks could team up like that for a quick, right now, completion and a gain of 11.
Did you see Montana hit Rice right there? It was unbelievable. That's what it was. And Harry Colin is down, but I want you to watch this. Recognition first, know where it is, master the system, comes out, boom, right away.
And Harry Colin, who's playing in place of Van Malone, shaken up. We'll be right back.
What do I want? I want to know I'm headed in the right direction. I want to keep my options open. I do want to take care of my family. I want to give something back. I want to learn, find what's right for me, be ready for anything, make the right choices. I want to find the people who can get me there.
American Express financial advisors can help you decide what you want to do and how to get there.
I want to say I made a difference. I want to do more.
Nice pants.
Dockers, khakis.
On Fox, NFL Sunday, the road trip continues as the pregame team leaves the comfort of their Malibu home and returns to Green Bay once again. Then, the surprising Buccaneers visit Lambeau Field in a battle of the Bays. Two-time MVP Brett Favre and the Packer offense look to gun down the Bucs, while Dungy's D is out to prove that Tampa is an NFC power. Fox NFL Sunday next week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. By Levi's Jeans, they go on. And by Coca-Cola Classic, always the real thing, always Coca-Cola.
Back here at the Silverdome, and the Lions have a problem. Van Malone, who has been out with a sprained ankle, did not play last week, was not supposed to play today, but now he's out there as Harry Colin was injured on that pass play.
And you watch Harry Colin, number 29 right here. He's going to come in. He's going to get his head on the wrong side. Got to be upfield. And Shane Bonham, 96, was coming inside out. And he ended up hitting Colin right in the noggin. Now, the good thing is he's moving around. In fact, he flipped himself over. That's the good thing. But anytime you get those hits, when the guy gets his head snapped back, boy, I'll tell you what, makes you feel bad. I'll tell you something, all you high school players, little league players, when you watch this, you can't do two things. You can't duck your head because you risk a neck injury. You also can't get your head all the way back so that you hit somebody with the face because it'll snap it all the way back. You kind of have to, if you're going to hit with your head, you have to kind of use your forehead.
Good news, Harry Colin sitting up right now. The Lions inactivated Ron Rice, another safety, and other than Van Malone, he is the only safety on the roster right now, but they could move a cornerback over there if need be.
There's Dr. Favre, calling Dr. Howard, Dr. Favre, Dr. Howard. Now, Brett Favre's got class. I really have seen a maturity in him. He's a Louisiana backwoods guy, but you know what? Or I should say Mississippi, not Louisiana. Every time we're down in New Orleans, he tells me this is his country. But he's close by. He's really taken a big step.
And he, of course, has shouldered the burden exclusively. Packers have had a lot of drop passes this year. Levens has done a good job at the running game. The offensive line has had its problems with injuries, but Brett Favre has been terrific in each game for the Packers, and he is playing like the MVP he is.
Well, you watched him the last 2 years, and he was the MVP, and deservedly so, but he's gotten better.
So Van Malone is in the lineup, number 39 at free safety for Colin. Packers with a first down on the Lion 15. Favre smartly throws it away as the Lions did a good job in coverage.
Nice coverage. Nice coverage down the field. And remember, I say down the field because Favre saw the whole field. Just the fact that he wanted to dump it off and knew that was covered and got rid of it showed an example of his vision. Remember, you're down here on the 15-yard line, and now the field has shrunk. And when you defend things, you can tighten your coverage up a little bit more so it gets harder to find your spot.
8th play of the drive coming up. Lions have had problems in the red zone this year, tied for 28th in the league. And we may have a delay of the game penalty as the clock dropped down to 0 before the snap. The referee today is the veteran Bob McElwee in his 22nd year.
Delay of the game. Offense. 5 yards. Second down. You know, in some ways, Dick, that's not a bad penalty. For two reasons. First, you have a little bit more of a field to work with. Yes, you add on 5 yards. It's now 2nd and 15. But you've spread the field, number one. And number two, they were coming with a blitz, and that run was going right into the blitz. So it was going to get ugly.
And Mike Holmgren knows that he can complete a pass in the field, and the run after the catch may get him 6. So it's 2nd and 15. Brooks comes in motion toward the line, and Favre's pass to Levens, and he is pushed out of bounds by Westbrook, and that will bring up 3rd down and long inside the 20-yard line, a gain of 2 yards.
They wanted to get outside to Antonio Freeman. When you set up an offense and you're looking at the X receiver, the Z receiver, the Z is the guy to the tight end side. The X is away. Your X receiver, Antonio Freeman, is the guy who you like to make big plays. But Corey Raymond read it perfectly, and he knew he had safety help on top, so he jumped it.
3rd and 13. Brett Favre has pressure, and this pass is wobbled away. The Lions are doing a good job getting to Brett Favre to make him rush his throws, and the coverage isn't bad either with Porcher and Luther Ellis that time doing the job, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, but it was Ellis inside. It was the pressure inside that made this play because Robert Brooks got clear to the middle of the field. and because of the pressure, Favre had to come off of it and then dump it downfield.
Ryan Longwell, a rookie, will be kicking a 36-yard field goal attempt with the punter Craig Hentrick, the holder. And Longwell's kick is good. Well, the Packers have to settle for 3, but they kept the Lion defense on the field for a long time with an impressive first drive. Packers lead 3-0. We'll be right back.
For 27 years, I've been peanuts, see? To my pal Tony says, this Coors Light, they force blew it, right? It's icy cold. So I says, I thought everyone drinks it because of all the peanuts I've tossed. See, I could hit a guy 8 rows up just by hearing the sound of his voice. It was my thing. But with Coors Light, I don't need a thing. Ow. Except maybe a towel. Coors Light! Coors Light!
All they want is someone to go down for the crime.
For 2 out-of-control cops.
The man in the car is DEA undercover.
The best place to hide
We're gonna find the killer.
is behind a badge.
We are the killers.
Gang-related. Rated R. Starts October 8th.
We asked some of Hollywood's hottest stuntmen to try Degree.
What's body heat activate?
As your body heat rises, Degree releases extra protection when you need it most.
I heated up, and it cooled me down. I was on fire, and I was dry.
Body heat activated Degree. Your body heat turns it on.
We gotta cut Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson? Absolutely.
I'll send him in.
What? Hi, Bubba. It's not that you're not good. You're too good. Is it hot? Free agent. Just throwing it out there as an idea with no meaning. Bubba. Bubba.
Not going anywhere for a while?
Master of your own destiny.
Grab a Snickers.
Those are great shower shoes. They're comfortable. They look it.
If you have ambition and personality, you could be a star. James Brown hosts the coolest new series of the season, The World's Funniest, tonight at 7, 6 Central.
Ryan Longwell, whose 36-yard field goal, giving the Packers a 3-0 lead with 8:47 remaining in the first quarter. And the Packers with a 10-play scoring drive that lasted nearly 4.5 minutes. And Barry Sanders waiting to get his second opportunity. He had 1 carry the first time the Lions had the ball. Longwell kicking off, and Glenn Milburn is back to receive it. And a better kickoff this time for Longwell. Milburn from the goal line, spinning his way shy of the 20-yard line.
Remember I told you that they had Robert Brooks clear. Here's the reason it didn't happen. I want you to watch this side. Luther Ellis working on Aaron Taylor and just goes arm over and beats him. There's the pressure that Favre feels, and here's what he wanted to get to. Watch up top. Watch up here. See the rub? They do the rub. Brooks is going to come clean inside. It's perfectly run. It's a great pattern. Clean to the middle of the field. An easy first down, possible 6. Credit Luther Ellis.
Lions starting their second possession from their 18. Play action to Sanders. Mitchell has time. Johnny Morton, and the pass is overthrown. Morton had beaten the defender, Roderick Mullen, downfield.
He had him. Knew where he wanted to go. Went with play action. Remember, everything starts from Barry Sanders, so you have to be able to honor this right there. Not a great fake, but enough to hold you inside. And then on the outside, Roderick Mullen gets beat, and Morton is wide open. I mean, wide open. See what Mullen did? He looked back. Sanders made that play.
2nd and 10. 3 wide receivers in the lineup for the Lions. Barry Sanders trying to cut off the left side, and Mike Pryor brings him down after a pickup of 6.
I'm going to tell you something. Watching these tapes and just spending the last few days with the Lions, and I asked Bobby Ross this, and I said to him, are you comfortable with Barry Sanders? Did you have to adjust when you got here? And he said, oh, yeah, right, we adjusted. You know what? I don't think that's true. My own observation, I don't think they have a full appreciation of what Sanders is. I think you got to feed that guy the ball all game long.
And he doesn't always need another back blocking for him back there. 3rd and 4. Mitchell slings it, deflected, incomplete. And the pocket collapsed on Scott Mitchell. And it was Santana Dotson, one of the Packers, in there. So once again, the Lions are 3 and out, and they'll have to kick.
Remember I told you, Scott Mitchell's going to have to get it done at quarterback today. Forget the throwing. He's got to see things.
And in that one, he did. Bill Schrader, who had seemingly lost his job, at least for this game, as a kick returner because of his recent fumble, is back in there now. Inside the 30-yard line, and Schrader is brought down on a big play by Richard Jordan, who was just activated the other day for this game. That was a 47-yard kick. We'll be right back.
We could be the biggest drum store on the web, but we need help. Any ideas? If every person on the net bought just one drum, there'd be no war.
Push the boundaries back with Goodyear Eagle F1. Dual aqua channel sweep water away for serious traction, especially in braking.
Serious freedom. Goodyear.
Jim Harbaugh and Jay Lewinberg for 1-800-COLLECT.
Jim, next time you call me collect, call me 1-800-COLLECT.
Jay, give it a rest.
No, 1-800-COLLECT saves me up to 44%. Yeah, are we going to practice or what?
You should have used 1-800-COLLECT!
Think Jim's learned his lesson? One more play ought to do it. 1-800-COLLECT. Save up to 44%.
Someone in Springfield is hiding their secret identity.
I don't have to listen to these wild allegations.
An all-new Simpsons, tonight at 8, 7 Central.
Not everybody appreciated it, but Terry was just trying to help.
Here's the key to don't blitz you see. Now, you come in motion. Let me tell you what I'm talking
Terry was demonstrating how the Cowboys will neutralize the blitzing Bears defense by handing off to Emmett.
Who's going to cover? Riddle!
Well, the guys got a little bit carried away.
If you ask me, Weezy was out of position.
Fox, NFL Sunday. The Bears take on the Cowboys later today.
There's a hefty man, Gilbert Brown, who's had a sprained left knee, but playing today. Not svelte. No one will ever use that word to describe big number 93.
What they will use to describe him, though, is good. He is a good player. He's the best point man in the NFL.
There's Harry Colin, who suffered a stinger and is back in at free safety for the Lions. First down for the Packers on their 26. And the give on the draw to Dorsey Levens. And Levens brings it out to the 30-yard line. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Hey, Dick, the Packers will see a Tampa Bay squad that has excellent special teams as well. Al Singleton blocking the punt, recovering it, returning it 28 yards to pay dirt, missed the extra point, but the Bucs on top by 6. Back to Dick and a 5'8" Matt Miller.
Magic continues, Matt.
5 foot. He meant 6'8".
Second down and 6. Far pass. Incomplete. Intended for Freeman. And that'll bring up third down. The Packers lead 3-0 on a Ryan Longwell field goal in their first possession.
One thing about this Detroit Lion defense is they play hard. I mean, they get after you. They got guys running to the football all the time. They got guys blowing up the field. And you have to be right. They don't have enough players yet so that they can kind of mess something up and still get the job done.
Total yardage, Packers 57, the Lions only 15. Third and 6. Far pass up the middle is caught by Antonio Freeman, and a first down shy of midfield. The linebacker Reggie Brown downfield. So far, throwing a bullet completes a 16-yard first down.
Well, he can throw that bullet because he's able to step up inside. They're going to go with the stunt inside, and they're also going to rush up. Now, Favre sees that, so you step up in the pocket. Now, when he steps up, he's looking to the middle of the field. If you've noticed, they've been trying to attack the inside. That means that the safeties of Detroit are playing to the outside to help the wide receivers. They've been taking Brooks and Freeman and trying to soften them up inside.
Brooks and Freeman combined for 12 catches, 3 touchdowns, and over 200 yards last week against Minnesota. Flag is down.
Free play.
And there is a pass to Robert Brooks. Inside the 25 and out of bounds.
Smart football.
There's that experience that Brett Favre has again.
That's that maturity we're talking about. Porsche jumped. The flag was thrown.
And a 34.
Penalties decline, first down.
And a 34-yard pass play will give the Packers another threat.
Watch this. You have to play this game with awareness. All right, he jumps off sides, okay? Now just get outside. Porsche stopped. You can't stop. You make a mistake, make sure this doesn't happen. Then Favre looks to the middle to draw the corner and the safety over. See, and now the safety has a long way to go, and that makes Brooks all by himself in a big play.
Packers with a first down on the Lion 20. Favre to throw up the middle, and Shimura makes the catch. Stephen Boyd brings him down, and a gain of 15.
The same thing is happening. They're spreading. The safeties are splitting. Middle of the field's wide open. You know, watch. Here's one safety. The other one's up top. Now they're going to go out and look to the wide receivers. That means the middle is wide open. Now where you attack, Stephen Boyd makes a mistake. See, Boyd bit inside. He bit on the play action, and that allowed Shimura to get to the top, to that open inside area.
First and goal at the 5-yard line. The Packers threatening to score again. Dorsey Levens gets to about the 4, and it was Stephen Boyd who has been shaken up, but back in action, making the stop, bringing up second and goal.
I think Stephen Boyd's pretty good. Now, what you saw there when he bit, that's going to happen. And to his type of player is aggressive. You can see he's looking at his wrist. What they're doing is they're giving him the calls, and he's reading it off. But Boyd, at 250 pounds, he wants to go up there and whack you. When you get a guy like that, sometimes you can take advantage of him with play action. They will bite.
Boyd has been hampered with a thigh injury. Second and goal. And the pressure, the pass caught by Mark Shimura at the 1-yard line. And Mark Carrier, the former Chicago Bear, preventing the touchdown. And Mike Holmgren praising Mark Shimura, who was not 100% last week and has really talked about playing hurt. Shimura has done just that.
I think in this league, so much of this is talked about but not understood. That's a tough kid. Shimura is a tough guy. And sometimes you're talking about mental toughness, being able to fight through things. Then there's the other part where you have to fight through something physical, and that's what he's doing now.
Ross Burba is lining up as a tight end to the right side. Third and goal from the 1. And here's Favre, and he was going to Ross Burba, and he had a report. Ross Burba, the rookie from Iowa,
Ross Burba looked like a tackle trying to get open right there. Kolakowski was right on top of him.
Got a paw on it, though.
Watch, Burba's lined up as a tight end. He had to report. Tries to block. Look, great job by Kolakowski. See, he's not going to be fooled by the fact that it's a tackle. And Favre doesn't care who it is. This is one of the things that makes him what he is. He doesn't care who it is. If you're a receiver, the ball's coming to you.
So Ryan Longwell is in to attempt another field goal, and the Lions again shut the door, at least on the touchdown attempt. This will be a 19-yard field goal attempt. They're going to adjust the clock. You saw it run down to 0. But the play clock will be adjusted. Bobby Ross's Lions, who were humiliated against the Saints on the road last week, trailing already in this game. And the field goal is good by Longwell, and the Packers have increased their lead to 6-0.
But they're doing well. They've given up only 6 points. That's one Barry Sanders run away.
This is Joe Kahn. He is living the football fan's dream of a lifetime. Last season, he sold his house, bought an RV, loaded it up with red meat and Coca-Cola, and went off to tailgate at every NFL stadium in America. Joe's driven over 30,000 miles. He's gained at least 23 pounds. What could push a fan to go to these extremes?
I think this is heaven.
Professional builders, people who make a living with their tools, prefer to buy their tools at the Home Depot more than any other store in America. And whether it's the selection, the quality brands we offer, or our guaranteed commitment to the lowest prices, we think it's a pretty powerful argument for why you should shop here too. The Home Depot, where people who know their stuff buy their stuff.
Nobody's tougher on motor oil than a police force. The extreme stress and searing heat generated by their hard driving can break down an oil in no time. That's why hard-working police forces use Castrol GTX, the only leading 10W30 that provides maximum protection against both viscosity and thermal breakdown. Because some people have more important things to worry about. Castrol GTX. Drive hard.
Now, get a free NFL Drive Hard video when you buy a case of Castrol GTX.
It's coming.
Come on, bring it on.
Hold on to your drawers.
No!
It's the King of the Hill that'll blow you away. Tonight after The Simpsons on Fox.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Snickers. Not going anywhere for a while? Grab a Snickers. Hungry? Why wait?
Welcome back to the Silverdome in Pontiac. There's a group of cheeseheads who have come back from northern Michigan and perhaps Wisconsin to see the Packers, who connected on a field goal on a 9-play, 73-yard drive. Longwell kicking off, and it's Milburn at the sideline, inside the 5-yard line, and Glenn Milburn, the former Denver Bronco, brings it out shy of the 28-yard line. Well, Tuesday on Fox, it's game 1 of the American League Division Series. Don't miss the American League Central champion Cleveland Indians taking on the defending world champion Yankees as they begin their quest for a second straight title. Oral Hershiser and David Cohn, the scheduled pitchers, catch all the action beginning live at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on Fox.
McGuire is running out of season, but he has been fun.
57 dingers. First down for the Lions on the 28. Here is Barry Sanders trying to change direction, but nothing doing.
You know, they've got to use Barry Sanders more. Look, you can see this. 19 is the most in week 3 that they've done this. Today, that was only his 3rd carry. You got to keep giving him the ball. The thing about Barry Sanders, he's not a conventional runner. So you may bottle him up 2, 3, 4 times, but then number 5 could be 55. And you have to develop a patience with his running game.
Still looking for his first touchdown this year. David Sloan, the tight end who's been injured, checks in, number 86, as Sanders gets the call again. Breaks the tackle, and there's Barry Sanders. He's getting that motor running, and a gain of 10 yards with Williams and Williams. Brian and Tyrone in on the play. Fritz Shermer talked about the difficulty in trying to defend against the number 1 enemy, Barry Sanders.
Number 1, no question, stop Barry Sanders. Now, you know, I say stop, but I say control is what I really mean. Have somebody in all the gaps. Make sure you play up the field so you take the cutback away and try to get as many of your 11 guys to the ball as you can.
Lions' first down of the game. They're on the 40, and on a reverse, here's Johnny Morton on a handoff from Barry Sanders. Morton into Packer territory in a big gain. Bernardo Harris finally caught up with him after a gain of 20 to the Green Bay 40-yard line.
Barry Sanders made the run. You know who made the thing go? Scott Mitchell. Scott Mitchell came out and tried to get a block, but in his non-block, he gave Sanders all he needed. This is the great thing about Sanders. Here's Mitchell up top. See, all you have to do, he's attempting, all you have to do is give him a chance. And I'm sorry, and you can see Johnny Morton has the same kind of Barry Sanders little movement out there.
2 of the quicker Lions on offense are Morton and Sanders. First down, and Barry Sanders looking for an opening. He doesn't need much, and he picks up 3 on the play.
The offensive line of the Detroit Lions is not very big. They don't have a lot of size. In fact, they're one of the lightest lines in the league. But what they can do and what they have to do is they have to stay on people. You can see the average, the lightest, second lightest, next to the Denver Broncos. They're at 294. But what they have to do is just stay on guys and get a little bit of push. Sanders will do the rest.
Ron Rivers is giving Barry Sanders a breather. He's in the backfield with Tommy Bardell on 2nd and 7. Scott Mitchell's pass to Bardell. And Bardell is knocked hard out of bounds by Wayne Simmons, close to the first down. They may have it. They're on the 30-yard line, and they appear to have a first down.
Well, this whole thing is set up by the running game. See Leroy Butler right in the top of your screen. They attack him from the outside. And then because you have to start honoring the run inside, these things start opening up.
40 seconds remaining in the first quarter. There is Leroy Butler, who the Lions are going to be keeping an eye out today. Mitchell with a short drop, and Herman Moore with his second catch of the game picks up 9 yards. Tyrone Williams and Brian Williams on the stop, and that may be the last play of this first quarter. So the Lions, as Matt mentioned, just one Barry Sanders run or a reverse away from getting back in this game, trailing 6-0, and now they're working on Barry Sanders. It's his nose which has been bloodied. But that's the end of the first quarter here at the Silverdome with the score, the Packers 6 and the Lions nothing.
Joe, Willie, name it. You got it?
A week went by when it suddenly dawned on me.
You get your 14,000 over 3 years.
Do I really want to return to football? Today's players are very fast. And while Zoom Air could make me faster, it made them faster too. There would be no comeback for old Broadway Joe.
They've upped it to 19 over 4, Joe.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's the way the sun helps things grow in their own time. It's the way bread begins as an ocean of wheat before rising in the oven. The way onions can make you cry, even when you're laughing. And it's the way we make over 1 million people their favorite sandwich every day, which, in case you're keeping track, is more sandwiches than the entire population of North Dakota. Subway. It's the way a sandwich should be.
Plans for nuclear weapons are on the internet. Parts can be easily purchased on the black market. Stolen radioactive materials are currently under investigation. Terrorists can make the bomb. The question is, can we stop them? Nuclear strike.
Back here at the Pontiac Silverdome, getting ready for the start of the second quarter, Barry Sanders was hit in the nose, which was bleeding, and he remains on the sideline as we start the second quarter. The Packers lead the Lions 6-0, and the Lions have a 2nd and 1 coming up at the 20. First 2 drives, 3 and out, netted only 15. This has been a lot more to Bobby Ross's satisfaction. Ron Rivers in motion. And the handoff to Bardell, and the Packers close it in a hurry, led by Santana Dotson, a loss of 3.
Boy, there's a guy who's been playing really well through the first quarter of the season, Santana Dotson. You know, he's always been slippery, but he looks like he's gotten stronger to me. Sometimes you'll watch him in there, and a guy will be on him, and he'll kind of twist, and all of a sudden, boink, he kind of pops out the side, kind of Gumby-like. But he's gotten bigger, and I think more effective.
Next week, he'll be going against his former team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in a big game. Barry Sanders back in the game, the 8th play of the drive coming up, 3rd down and 4. And the give is to Sanders, and he's not going to get, well, close. He pushed the pile back, and he may have the first down. We'll have to check. It was Lamont Hollingquist in on the tackle, and the Packers indicate that the Lions may be short by a yard. But you know what? Bobby Ross told us that they'll go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, and not down. Here's a chance to get points. You take your points. But it's interesting how they ran that play. See, what they did, because their line doesn't get a lot of push, he made Sanders give them separation by running kind of a stretch play outside. The impetus on that play has to come from the quarterback. He's got to be able to get down the line and make your defense stretch outside, and that gives you a little, you can see it short. It gives you some separation, allows Sanders to get inside.
And they are going to go for it on 4th down, and
this is a big call.
The heavy jumbo come in. You said you got points, you don't want to take off. They have a chance for 3 with a good kicker in Jason Hansen indoors. But Bobby Ross wants the first down with his team trailing 6-0. So Tommy Bardell and a great blocker in Corey Schlesinger up front. And 3 tight ends. 4th and a foot. Scott Mitchell with the quarterback sneak. And it's still going to be close. I think this is going to call for another measurement.
Well, one thing, you're not going to run at Reggie White, and you're not going to run at Gilbert Brown. When you run a quarterback sneak, you snap the ball and you kind of take a little delay and you wait for it to develop, and then you pick your spot.
This is a very critical measurement considering who the Lions are playing in this game. They didn't make it. The Packers held.
I think
they missed it by 6 inches.
And I know it's early in the game. You're going to roll the dice, but you try to take your 3 points. I think you get on the board.
And this Lion offense comes up empty on 4th down. Packers take over on downs when we come back.
Okay, Bongo, wave. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Come on, he's never gonna get it.
Will you look at that?
Yeah, finally learned to wave bye-bye.
The new redesigned Ford Ranger, the only compact pickup built Ford tough.
My name is Frank Maddox. I'm a baseball scout for the Seattle Mariners. 244 pounds. He's probably a little hefty. We need somebody else for center field. But there's no way I'm going to Phoenix, man. It's too hot. You gotta try to look in the future, and that's a tough thing to do.
On Fox, NFL Sunday, the road trip continues as the pregame team leaves their Malibu home and returns to Green Bay. Then, Emmett Smith, Michael Irvin, and the Cowboys look to run wild, while Michael Strahan and the Giant defense are on a mission to shut them down.
The milkman loves the road games.
Fox, NFL Sunday, next week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Fox, NFL Sunday is brought to you by Microsoft. Where do you want to go today? By Aflac, insuring over 40 million people worldwide. And by Pert Plus, the shampoo that conditions, too, for simply great hair, simply.
Here's big Gilbert Brown on the left, and on the right is Scott Mitchell. The quarterback sneak fails for the Detroit Lions, and the Packers take over on downs on the 20-yard line.
I don't know if that one failed after looking at the replay.
We're going to take another look at it. First down at the 20, and here's Dorsey Levens, who gets about a yard.
Remember I said you have to take that delay step and then go. Watch Scott Mitchell. He's going to tack over to the left side. Remember, right here is the line. We put our camera right down the line of scrimmage so you have a straight-on look. Now, when the ball snap, he's got to get past the line. Remember, ball, it's where the ball is, not where his head is. Right there, right there. Here's the line. There's the ball. Looks like a first to me.
And to me. Second down and 8. Again, Levens breaks a couple of tackles. Dorsey Levens with a great run. He broke a couple of tackles with hard running and gets 9 yards. Van Malone making the tackle on the second leading rusher in the NFC, Dorsey Levens.
Boy, was that a tough run. Levens has a nice mix of power and speed. He's faster than you think. Porsche come blowing up the field, and Dorsey Levens ran right by him. Ran right through a tackle.
Lions' woes have been on the defensive side of the ball in the last several years, and Porsche coming to the sidelines, it appears, and Tracy Scroggins has come in to replace Porsche. Scroggins had lost his defensive end spot to Kerwin Waldrop.
They need Robert Porsche. He has a little more size than Kerwin Waldrop, but he understands pass rushing, and he plays at a good pace. He comes flying up the field pretty hard.
Packers will have a first down at the 31-yard line. Jeff Thomason is in at tight end, number 83 for the Packers. with a screen pass to Brooks and hit immediately by Westbrook. And right now, for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood. JB?
Hey, Dick, in the battle of 1 and 3 teams, Saints and the Giants, Dave Brown looking back, finding Kevin Alexander, who beats Eric Allen 36 yards, make that a 32-yard TD. Giants on top 7-3. Back to Dick Stockton and Matt Miller.
We liked Kevin Alexander last week.
Last year, yeah. He was trying to get open. Eric Allen doesn't look like the same player from about 4 years ago. He's not the same.
2nd and 5, and a hole opens up for Levin. And Van Malone making the catch, but not tackle, but not before Levins gets 7 yards and another first down. The Packers running hard thanks to number 25.
Remember we talked about this Detroit Lion defense. They like to come up the field hard. Well, when that happens, and they're getting the pass rush, and they're such a pass-based team, the Packers, then you start hitting them inside. You go delayed draw, you go the little lead draw, and you start softening them up in the middle.
Robert Porcher has come back for the Lions up front. On first down, slant pass to Terry Mickens, incomplete, and that was Brian Westbrook, who was the #1 pick and a holdout out of the University of Texas.
Say about Bryant Westbrook. Bryant Westbrook is physical, and he has a good, like a mindset to play the game. He wants to be physical. Now, what he's doing is he's learning on the job. See, he doesn't use his hands all the way yet. This isn't the NCAA. You get up there, you got to get your hands on people to slow him down. But he's willing, and when you have somebody willing and physical, you have the makings of a real good one.
Lions have had a big weakness in the secondary in recent years. They're counting on Westbrook. 2nd down and 10, and a bevy of flags are thrown.
False start prior to the snap. Number 77 offense.
It's John Michaels, the left tackle, who was in a battle this week with Ross Burba as to who would start at that position for this game.
Well, there's Ross Burba. You see this thing on his arm right here? Like, that's his attitude. He's a nut. And I like that because he has a little John Hanna in him. He gets in there and he wants to hurt you. He's really aggressive, and I think that's something that the Packer offensive line doesn't have.
2nd and 15. Following the penalty. 3 wide receivers for Favre. He dumps it off to Levins. Flag is down. Dorsey Levins in the open field.
Oh, nice.
Still on his feet as he got by Westbrook, but a flag is down back at the 35-yard line of the Packers. And let's see whether that will wipe out Levin's 25-yard gain.
That's a hold. They're going to bring this one back. Holding number 77 offense.
Well, that's 2
10 yards. Repeat the down.
consecutive penalties called against John Michaels.
Talk about young guys learning on the job. This is his 2nd year, and really it's his first time starting. And you have a screen, you have to be patient. You have to go 1,001, 1,002. But right there, he pulled him down. Kerwin Waldrop took the inside, and he just hooked him.
Mike Holmgren told us yesterday that Michaels had the better week of practice, although Verba played better than Michaels against the Vikings a week ago.
And, you know, Verba might be one of those guys who are gamers. And you're only...
Michaels had the better week of practice, although Verba played better than Michaels against the Vikings a week ago.
And, you know, Verba might be one of those guys who are gamers. And you're only going to find that in time. But Michaels has all the tools. He just has to settle down and do it.
2nd and 25 now for Green Bay. And Favre's pass is caught by Robert Brooks. And Brooks gets into Lion territory. They needed 25, and they got 22 of those back.
Remember I talked about disrupting timing? When you're walked up there, you have to get your hands on the receiver. That's not good enough. You can't do that. And when you let him run by, chances are he's going to get open. Now, when you're on the other side, you do get your hands on him. You start to take away just a second, a half a second. That messes with your timing.
Brooks goes to the sideline. He's come back from that tough injury of a year ago to his knee and surgery. 3rd and 3. And Favre falls down, batted and intercepted. Reggie Brown will score.
Brett Favre was trying to say that he was down, but he's wrong.
He was not touched.
No, he wasn't touched, and he tried to make a play. He tried to throw it away, but in his zeal to try to throw it away, it got batted down, and Brown came down with it. Right there, it looked like Aaron Taylor or Dellenbach got him. Now he's going to just try to throw it away. But a great job of awareness by Reggie Brown. Gets his hands up. The ball bounced right to him, and he scores.
45-yard interception. Sure, Favre wouldn't have complained if he would have completed a pass under those circumstances. But the interception in return, and now the extra point with Jason Hansen on. And the kick is good, and the Lions have taken a 7-6 lead. And what a birthday present this is for Reggie Brown, celebrating his 23rd this afternoon.
Oh, free beer.
I gotta warn you, boys, those seats are taken.
By us.
Okay, I warned you.
Excuse me, those are our beers.
Excuse us. We should have known these were yours.
You being that rugged outdoor type and all.
Fred, couldn't you see him hiking through the Rockies, climbing snow-capped peaks like some great American hero?
Who do you think you are, John Wayne?
No, that would be me.
Yeah, right. I'm Ben Cartwright.
No, he's over there.
Anything we can do for you?
We was just about to buy a cold one for the Duke.
Well, don't make a point of saying that too often, and once more will be too often.
Coors Light Flower!
Like this little fracas is about over.
Are you going to fix that fence today?
Yep.
1948 was the first year for Ford F-Series, and after 50 years, there are more tough F-Series trucks still on the road today than any other make. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough for 50 years strong.
It's been 50 years, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe it's about time you fixed that fence.
If you had an affair with a married man, would you tell his wife?
He was wonderful. Professor.
Ally McBeal, Monday at 9/8 Central.
Lions taking the lead on a defensive score. Brett Favre intercepted by Reggie Brown, and that is his second return for an interception this year. He brought one back against the Falcons in the season opener, 38 yards out. That's a good habit to start with for Brown, who was a #1 last year. Jason Hansen will kick off, and back deep for the Packers, Aaron Hayden and Don Beebe. And a good kick. Deep into the end zone, and it's down by Don Beebe.
Well, Reggie Brown had the awareness. The guy who makes the play is Luther Ellis, because he's going to stone Aaron Taylor inside. And because he does it, gets off the ball, boom, right there. Forces him to have to step on Favre, and then Favre, trying to make the play, throws it up, and Brown, of course, does what he does. It's great awareness. That's great awareness all the way around.
And a big play. Remember, the Lions failed on 4th and a foot when they had the ball in Packer territory. A lot of the wind went out of their sails, but it's back up there now. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Play action. Brett Favre going deep and intended for Brooks. And Westbrook was defending on the play. And again, good pressure by the Lions up front.
Brian Westbrook's pretty good. Kind of like him. He's competitive, and he'll stay on you. Now, not getting a jam all the time, but there's other ways to do things. By body position and using your help, you can also take a receiver out. But when it's in a quick rhythm pass, it really helps to get your hands on him. He has long arms. I mean, that was one of the things they liked about him. And he is physical. They just need him to do that.
Aaron Hayden, in his 3rd year, is the lone setback on 2nd and 10. And the handoff to Hayden. And he is wrapped up by Porche in a hurry and a loss of a yard.
Nice job up front. Luther Ellis inside and Bonham inside Wells. Shane Bonham, 96. In order to do that, in order to make any kind of running back stop and go back and forth, you have to hold the point up front. Watch Bonham right there. See, hold the point. And then Boyd is able to come in here, and then on the other side, Porcher just maintains his discipline. There's no place to go. But it all starts with Bonham holding the point.
Porcher and Scroggins are the defensive ends. It'll be 3rd and 11. Favre gets hit. And they're going to say that it was a pass attempt.
Robert
It was a
Porcher.
pass attempt, and it will be an incompletion.
Robert Porcher is schooling Earl Dotson on the other side. Remember I told you he plays hard up the field? He has the good speed, and that's what he does. Watch right up top. Nice jump off the ball. Gets to the top shoulder. That's what you have to get to. Beat him with speed, come around, slap the ball. His arm was going forward. It's a good call by the officials. Come around the corner.
So Porcher, the Lions, showing some aggressiveness up front. And Craig Hendrick will be kicking, and Glenn Milburn is back deep. A great kick by Hendrick. Milburn backpedals inside his 20. And Milburn, nothing doing. Milburn with a return of just a couple after a 63-yard kick by Craig Hendrick. We'll be right back.
U.S. gold medalist Mia Hamm spends 90 minutes destroying her hair and 90 seconds bringing it back with Pert Plus. More than a shampoo, it conditions too. How? As you shampoo, the conditioners stay suspended. As you rinse, the conditioners go to work, giving you great hair simply. Perfect for Mia, because she wants great hair, but she'd rather be living in it than working on it. Wouldn't you? Pert Plus. Simply great hair. Simply.
Most low-priced computer ads include legal type, like this, to let you know about all the wonderful things you won't be getting with your computer. Now this system includes everything you need to get started. Printer, monitor, and software. It's only $14.99 plus shipping and tax. And best of all, it's from Gateway. Gateway computers feature Intel Pentium processors. Call us at 1-800-GATEWAY and we'll build one for you.
People smile and tell me I'm the lucky one. And we've just begun. Think I'm gonna have a son. And in the morning when I rise, you bring a tear of joy to my eyes and tell me everything's gonna be alright.
Aflac, insuring over 40 million people worldwide.
David Cohn and the Yankees take on Oral Hershiser and the Indians. The American League Division Series begins Tuesday on Fox.
Today's Aflac trivia question is, which two players were drafted ahead of Barry Sanders in 1989? And we'll have the answer coming up. Whoever they were, 20 should have been number 1. First down at the 26-yard line for the Lions, who lead by a point. Herman Moore goes in motion. Scott Mitchell to Sanders. Barry Sanders with a big gain. Caught from behind by Bernardo Harris, but not after he picks up 21 yards.
That's better than any run or long pass. They do is just clear things out and then take number 20 and sit him down right in the inside of your defense. Watch the drops. Just dump it right inside. Anytime you give this guy space, obviously he's dangerous.
Comes in the game as the third leading receiver for the Lions, who have a first down on their 46. Sanders, after a pickup of about 4 yards, is brought down. Right now, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Tampa Bay took a page from Arizona's fake punt, so, hey, Tampa Bay does it. Tommy Barnhart to safety Tony Bowie, who goes 25 yards. That set up a dilfer to Riedel Anthony score. Missed a two-point conversion, but it's 12-0 Tampa Bay. Back to Dick and Matt Miller.
Does the team do anything wrong? Doesn't look like it at this point. They got the Packers next week on Fox. Barry Sanders breaks it. And Tyrone Williams brings him down at the 5. But not before Barry gets 46 big ones.
Remember we said you don't have to have a lot of push. You just have to give him a little crack. This is what it is. Watch, there's not a lot of push in this offensive line. Hold the point. There's nothing there. All you need is that right there. And that was about 1.5 feet wide. And then Sanders just jumps right through it. Look at the move. Eugene Robinson is in the hole. He just cuts right back inside. And if there's any difference in Barry Sanders, his first and second year, he would have scored there. That's the only difference.
And he has just passed Franco Harris for 5th place in the all-time NFL rushing list. First and goal at the 4. Touchdown! Pete Kreplovich from Notre Dame. And this crowd of 80,000 plus on its feet.
Play action on the goal line, one of the toughest things to cover. And when you have your running game going, play action is even tougher.
And that is the first NFL touchdown for Pete Kreplovich from Notre Dame.
Don't leave now, don't leave.
5th round draft pick by the Detroit Lions, and Jason Hanson for the extra point. And it's perfect. And the Lions now lead 14-6. As Scott Mitchell finds the tight end, Kreplovich. But Barry Sanders set it up with a brilliant scamper.
We interrupt your busy day to bring you a sigh of relief. Introducing new Ford Choice, the easiest way yet to get the most for your money. Now you can get Ford Escort with these standard features starting at just $11,695. Ford Contour with all these standard features starting at $14,995. Or Ford Taurus with these standard features starting at $18,795. It's that easy with new Ford Choice. We now return you to your regularly scheduled chaos.
This one. Oh, let's go.
Let's do it.
Blue. Hut.
I'm open.
On Fox, NFL Sunday, the road trip continues as the pregame team leaves the comfort of their Malibu home and returns to Green Bay once again. Then, the surprising Buccaneers visit Lambeau Field in a battle of the Bays. Two-time MVP Brett Favre and the Packer offense look to gun down the Bucs, while Dungy's D is out to prove that Tampa is an NFC power. Fox NFL Sunday next week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
The outside backer, Lamont Hollingquist, has to get a jam on Kreplovich, because here's the coverage. And what happens, they go play action, you're going to bite. Now you have to get back outside. The only way you can do that is if Hollingquist can jam him first and slow him down. If you don't get the jam, that's a really tough coverage. Kreplovich does it nice outside.
Jason Hanson will kick off for the Lions. Don Beebe is back, and another good kickoff. And again, Beebe is forced to down it for a touchback. So Hanson's doing his job. Key play on that 4-play, 74-yard drive was Barry Sanders' 46-yard burst up the middle. His longest run from scrimmage this year.
Well, we said it earlier. You have to stay with them. You have to have a patience when you have Barry Sanders. And I really believe that this staff is still learning him. They're going to be really excited about what they learned.
I would think. Barry Sanders has had good success against the Packers, gaining 100 or more yards in 4 of the last 5 games. Now the Packers, they can strike quickly. First down at the 20. And a whistle. And a penalty.
start. Prior to the snap. Number 62 out there. 5 yards, first down.
It must have been 63. Adam Timmerman, the right guard. He may have been the culprit. They don't sell out much here at the Silverdome. They had 2 sellouts last year, one for the Packers visit, the other for the traditional Thanksgiving Day game. This year the Bears will face the Lions on Thanksgiving Day, and of course Fox will be here for that one. 1st and 15. And you'll be here as well on radio. And enjoying it.
That's a crowd penalty. That's going to be Earl Dotson. 5 yards, first down. So what you're going to have to do now is either going to have to go to a silent count, or some teams will hold hands, or some guys will just get up there and give one loud signal, and then you count 1,001, 1,002, and the ball snaps.
That is the 3rd false start penalty called against Mike Holmgren's Packers, and they now will have 1st and 20 back on the 10-yard line with 6:23 remaining in the second. Barr with a short drop, throws it to Don Beebe, and it's a fumble.
Incomplete.
Now they come in and rule that it is incomplete. Mark Carrier made the hit.
Remember last year, Don Beebe took some tremendous shots. This is another one. I mean, he went right in there, right into the middle of the coverage. The ball was there. He went up for it, and he took a pretty good hit. Right there. His Carrier and Boyd from the inside.
And then Boyd, of course, gives him a little wrestling move.
Well, that's a linebacker thing.
Well, Beebe is shaken up and will have an injury timeout.
Not everybody appreciated it, but Terry was just trying to help.
Here's the key to don't blitz it. You see, now you come in motion.
Terry was demonstrating how the Cowboys will neutralize the blitzing Bears defense by handing off to Emmett.
Who's going to cover? Rizzo!
Well, the guys got a little bit carried away.
If you ask me, Weezy was out of position.
Fox, NFL Sunday. The Bears take on the Cowboys later today.
Don Beebe still being worked on. Stephen Boyd coming to the sideline, and Beebe has yet to move.
Watch this thing at regular speed, and you can see how fast, and then also how fast he gets banked right there. And anybody who's played the game or is playing the game understands that these things can happen at any time. I mean, you're just a hit away. I mean, that's a cliche, but it's done. But it's also a given that you never think it's going to be you. You always think if it happens, it's going to be to somebody else. That's Pepper Burris, their head athletic trainer. Nobody wants to ever see anybody get hurt, ever. I mean, you play the game with the idea in your head that you want to try to kill them, like they always say. But when the opportunity, like you saw Brett Favre before, go up, pat the guy in the rear end, come on, it's okay, get back up. Nobody wants to see anybody hurt because they know it could be them.
Green Bay Packers have lost a lot of players to injury. Last year, in the first 5 weeks, Ken Rutgers, the offensive tackle. This year, a different story, and it started early with Edgar Bennett in preseason. George Kuntz, the linebacker. You mentioned Craig Newsom. Both of their starting cornerbacks are out today with Doug Evans not playing. And right now, the whole focus is on Don Beebe. We'll take another timeout. We'll be right back.
On Fox, NFL Sunday, the road trip continues as the pregame team leaves the comfort of their Malibu home and returns to Green Bay once again. Then, The surprising Buccaneers visit Lambeau Field in a battle of the Bays. Two-time MVP Brett Favre and the Packer offense look to gun down the Bucs, while Dungy's D is out to prove that Tampa is an NFC power. Fox NFL Sunday next week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
Back here at the Silverdome, where Don Beebe got hit after an incomplete pass, and they have brought the stretcher on. And that's just about what the emotion is here, not only of the Packer fans, but all of the fans. Don Beebe was activated today for the first time this year. Bill Schrader had been returning the kicks, was expected to be put on the inactive list. They did not do that with Schrader, but Beebe seeing his first action of the year today, and now he's going to be taken off the field.
Oh, boy. Boy, I hate to see that.
Well, he played a major role after Robert Brooks went down last year for the Packers in their Super Bowl victory. If you've just joined us, the delay, Don Beebe was hit and has been strapped in and will be carried off on a stretcher after an incomplete pass. The Detroit Lions are leading in the game 14-6 after trailing 6-0 on 2 Ryan Longwell's field goals. Lion linebacker Reggie Brown intercepted a Brett Favre pass after a deflection, ran 45 yards for a touchdown, and then the Lions offense scored when Scott Mitchell hit Pete Kriplevich of Notre Dame, the rookie, for a 4-yard touchdown pass following a Barry Sanders run of 46 yards, and that has been the scoring. So 2 touchdowns here in the second quarter, and the Lions lead 14-6. And the Silverdome crowd giving Don Beebe an ovation as he leaves the field.
See, Mark Carrier went over and Stephen Boyd stood vigil just because, again, there's no malice in any hit. It's just that's the way the game is played.
And whenever anything like this happens, it takes a lot of the zest out of the game for a bit in the crowd. Second down and 20 as we resume. Packers on the 10-yard line. Brett Favre with time steps up and hits Robert Brooks. And Brooks may have a first down at the 30-yard line with Brian Westbrook on the coverage.
You give Favre time, and hey, Robert Brooks does an outstanding job of knowing where that first down marker is. Notice as soon as he made his break when he saw Brian Westbrook kick his hips. Once he turned his hips, that's his break. Go back outside because now the corner has to redirect.
And you're right, Brooks knows where the marker is. A first down for the Packers. 5 catches for 92 yards today thus far for Brooks. First down from the 30 and going up top for Brooks. And Brooks, they get the beneficiary of a penalty against Brian Westbrook, who seemed to hold Brooks on that pass. And it will be
defensive pass interference number 32. First down.
All against Westbrook.
Well, you have a rookie out there, and yeah, you're aggressive and you're pretty good, but you're going to make them earn their money. And see, you have to allow the receiver to get to the ball. And he stood in front of him. Actually, it was a pretty good job by Brooks of running into him. You have to make the defender move. The defender didn't move, and so they're going to make it.
That is the first penalty against the Lions. First down on the 49 of Detroit. Here's Dorsey Levens. Gets by Corset. Levens picks up about 7 yards with a good cut. Mark Carrier in on the play. Levens, of course, the chief ball carrier with Edgar Bennett. Lost for the season, and they say Bennett now has got the walking cast on. Be several months before he's ready to start to work back again. Those are Levens' numbers so far today. Second down and 3 on the Lions 42. And the pass again.
Nice tackle.
Brooks, and it's Corey Raymond.
That's a good tackle. Brooks again knows where that first down marker is. Favre got the ball out real quick and was going to force Corey Raymond to have to make the tackle. Raymond did an excellent job of driving through. Knows where it is. Now watch. Head's on the wrong side, but he drove through. And because he got the hit on him and he had him going backwards, he stayed right with it. His head should be to the top side.
Just short of the first down. Raymond, the former Giant. Jeff Thomason has been in at tight end for the Packers. Mark Shimura on the sideline. According to the Packers, he's been foggy. That's what they said. Third down and 1. And Brett Favre on the quarterback sneak. And he didn't need much to get the first down.
But he kept his feet moving. And the last time, it looked like Scott Mitchell tried to jump through. And actually, I thought Mitchell got the first down. What Favre does is he takes that little crack and he just keeps his feet moving and tries to get that whole pile moving forward.
They're going to measure to see whether Favre made it. Bobby Ross in his first year with the Lions after success at San Diego. He lost his first 4 games in his first year at San Diego and ended up making the playoffs.
It looks just whichever way you tilt that marker, whether it's a first down or not. You tilt it in, he got it. Now watch him drive. See, just keep your feet moving. Keep on driving, keep on pushing. Don't stop. Don't leave your feet until somebody grabs one. And you can see Kerwin Waldrop grabbed one, and he still didn't stop.
Packer first down, and they've got 2 tight ends in there now with Jeff Thomason and Reggie Johnson, number 88. Brett Favre with a screen to Levens, and Brian Westbrook coming in, making a fine play from the secondary, and no gain on that play. Once again, today's Aflac trivia question is which 2 players were drafted ahead of Barry Sanders in 1989? The answer? Well, that one was a good one. Troy Aikman, taken first overall by the Dallas Cowboys, and Tony Mandarich, who was selected by the Green Bay Packers.
Barry Sanders was number 3, and I think Green Bay says, man, I think we made a mistake on that Mandarich pick.
A little bit of one. Second down and 10. Favre pass. Antonio Freeman up the middle, short of the first down, picks up 7 yards. Reggie Brown in on the stop.
Detroit Lions defensively, they're playing pretty well. Remember earlier we said that they don't have the kind of talent where they can make a mistake. They have to do everything right. They're doing everything right. I mean, they're rushing the passer well. They're trying to disrupt the timing. They haven't got the jams outside of the receivers, but they're playing hard with the ball.
And good ball control to the tune of 17-plus minutes already in this half. Third down and 3. Favre pass, batted away, intended for Brooks, and the rookie Brian Westbrook with his second fine play in this sequence.
Well, they're going to continue to go at him. He's a rookie out there. They're going to give him on-the-job training. He broke inside, and the ball was actually thrown low. That was not a well-thrown ball by Favre. Had it been thrown out a little bit, Westbrook may have had a chance at a pick.
Ryan Longwell, who has kicked 2 field goals, will try to bring the Packers close. 50-yard attempt for Ryan Longwell. And this is his first attempt from this distance, and Longwell's kick is perfect, and he boomed that one through.
Boy, he killed it.
Longwell had not even attempted a 40-yard attempt, but this is a 50-yarder, and it was clean, and it's strong.
Boy, he hit this one real. I mean, that's from 50.5 yards. And look where it hits. Heck, it hits in the back of the net. He had a good 5 to 6 yards more on that thing. More than that. he really drilled that.
Here it is again with Hendrick holding. Ryan Longwell, the rookie. Brett Conway, the kicker from Penn State, was drafted, but he got hurt, and so Longwell has made the most of his opportunity, and now the Lions lead over the Packers is 14-9.
Well, you can credit, you see Bobby Ross is not the happiest guy in the house, but you can credit Ron Wolf. Ron Wolf, I think, is as good as there is in this business at finding players. Well, Bobby Ross is hot.
It's about as agitated as we've ever seen Bobby Ross. So it's 14-9, and Longwell will kick to Glenn Milburn back deep for the Lions. 2 minutes, 16 seconds remaining in the first half. And Longwell's kick to Milburn, 5 yards in the end zone, and Milburn will run it out. In the middle of the pack, the flag is down as Milburn is tackled at the 17-yard line. And there's Nolan Cromwell, who's applauding the special teams for their coverage.
That was a good kick by Longwell, as he's saying, and then they're going to get a penalty on top of that, which will take it back further.
They picked up the flag.
He picked it up. He initially signaled a push in the back.
Nolan Cromwell, the special teams coach, who was an outstanding defensive back in his playing days with the Los Angeles Rams. First down on the 16-yard line. No coach is more animated, I think, on the sideline than those special team coaches. And I think they know now that they're going to be seen on television, don't you?
Nolan's usually not like that. He's not one of the guys who flops around over there.
2:06 remaining. We'll have the 2-minute warning coming up shortly. On the draw, Sanders. Barry brings it to the 19. And now the 2-minute warning. We'll return to the Silverdome with the Lions leading the Packers 14-9.
For the last 5 years, I've had this dream.
Feed your dream with Twin Lab Creatine Fuel.
Don't wake me now.
Creatine Fuel from Twin Lab. Feed your dream. Feed the machine.
The new dirt-eating Ford Ranger. Take on the road. Road. See its 4-liter V6. Take no prisoner. See it switch on 4-wheel drive. Go where others fear to tread. Friday. The new Ford Ranger. Whoa, that was cool.
Yeah. So what are we going to do tomorrow?
The new redesigned Ford Ranger, the only compact pickup built Ford tough.
The government's most shocking secret is out.
Are you telling me you have a live extraterrestrial running loose?
Adult Visitor, Friday at 8/7 Central.
On Fox, NFL Sunday, the road trip continues as the pregame team leaves their Malibu home and returns to Green Bay. Then, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, and the Cowboys look to run wild, while Michael Strahan and the Giant defense are on a mission to shut them down.
The milkman loves the road game.
Fox, NFL Sunday, next week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Fox, NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Back at the Pontiac Silverdome, we have 2 minutes remaining in the first half with the Lions leading the Packers 14-9. Second down and 7 coming up for the Lions on their 19. Scott Mitchell's pass incomplete, very risky with Roderick Mullen closer to the ball. Let's go back to the injury to Don Beebe here in the second quarter, Matt.
You can see it was just going to be a slant inside, thrown in traffic. Carrier and Boyd hit Beebe, but there's some good news to the other side.
Great news.
They took him off, and he really was knocked out.
Well, he has regained consciousness, and he has regained the use of all of his faculties. He has been taken for x-rays on his neck. But the great news is that Don Beebe is conscious and has all his faculties. That's the best news of the game yet. Flag is down with 1:53 on the clock.
False start prior to the snap. Number 71 offense.
Larry Tharp.
5 yards, third down.
Yeah, Larry Tharp has been playing pretty good over there today. You notice we haven't talked about Reggie White at all.
Haven't mentioned his name.
Now, they're helping him over. You know, they're putting Pete Metzlars to that side to slow him down a little bit. But Reggie hasn't really done much.
And Gilbert Brown, except on one play, really hasn't been a force either.
And you know, to be fair, they're not going at those guys as well. Gilbert holds that point as good as anybody inside.
Third down and 12 inside the 15 for the Lions. They're going to try to put it in the air again. Scott Mitchell on the run. Pass is caught. Johnny Morton making the reception at the 31. Well, you got to admire the Lions getting risky. They call a timeout deep in their own territory, putting it in the air, but they've got a first down at the 31.
Not everybody appreciated it, but Terry was just trying to help.
Here's the key to don't blitz you see. Now you come in motion.
Terry was demonstrating how the Cowboys will neutralize the blitzing Bears defense by handing off to Emmett.
Who's going to cover? Rizzo!
Well, the guys got a little bit carried away.
You ask me, Weezy was out of position.
Coming up next on Fox NFL Sunday, the Bears battle the Cowboys.
I told you about Reggie White, and what they're doing is they're going to take two people. They're going to take Metzlars first to slow him down, and then he's going to turn it over to Tharp right there. And they're going to stay with him. Now, there was coverage down the field. Hollenquist comes free. Credit this first down to Scott Mitchell. He bought some time with his legs and threw it back inside.
On first down from the 31, Mitchell trying to get away. Reggie White gets to him. And that time, White beat Tharp.
Just when you say he's a non-factor, guess who's a factor?
Mr. White.
Hey, look, there's no question, and I'm not going to say anything if they're going to go with the hurry-up offense. This time they single him. He just throws him by. Coverage down the field allows him to get the sack.
And a hurry-up after the loss of 4 yards. Second and 14. Better protection this time, but Mitchell throws it away. Pete Metzlars was the intended receiver, and with 1:27 on the clock, that will bring down third down.
Reggie White is not the player. You can see 169 sacks, all-time sack, but he's not the player that he was. He's not even the player he was 3 years ago, and he'd admit that. In fact, he does. But what he does is he picks his spots. And when it's time for big plays, when it's time for somebody to have to make it happen, that's what he does. And they still, in terms of run defense, they don't run at him because he's still as good as there is in the run.
He can pick his spots and knows when to do it. Third and 14. Mitchell goes down again, and this time it's Gabe Wilkins. And with 1:23 on the clock, the Packers could be looking at good field position and all three of their timeouts remaining. So that was not a good sequence, but a good one for Fritz Shermer's defense, and a timeout called by Green Bay. Coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime report, we'll bring you scores and highlights from around the league, and our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime report.
See, he had time to make that throw, but the reason he couldn't make the throw is there was nobody to open. You can credit this to coverage. Look, looking down the field, look at he's drawing a beat on him. This is covered. This is covered. this is covered. There's nothing there. So you have to pull it down and hope this comes clean. But it's not there, and there's the sack. Credit the coverage.
So Bill Schrader, who did not start the game, but fielded one punt, is back deep. Good kick this time by John Jett. And it looked like a bobble by Schrader, and he couldn't get anything going. So Schrader, with a return of 4 yards and a great punt by Jett of 52 yards. Well, tonight, find out which of these well-known characters is really an imposter on The Simpsons, followed by a King of the Hill that'll blow you away. Don't miss 2 brand new episodes tonight on Fox. Well, I don't know.
Holy
He doesn't blow you away.
At one point, they are all in tonight's episode. You're going to see these guys. I hope so.
First down for the Packers on their 33. Pressure on Favre. He unloads it to Levens. And it's Stephen Boyd bringing him down. And the clock running. We have a minute to go. The Packers with 2 timeouts left, trying to get at least into field goal range.
Going to go with the hurry up.
2nd and 13.
There's 12 guys on the defense.
2 flags down. The pass is caught by Brooks. And finally tripped out of bounds, but
12 guys
may
on
be right.
defense. Shane Bonham ran on. Nobody ran off. They had 12 guys
men on the field against the defense. Penalty is declined.
And the Packers are in field goal range at least with 41 seconds.
Watch, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys. Actually, I doubled in here. Here's your 12. Bonham had run on, and so you had 5 down linemen. That's a 5-5-2. Now, if you can get away with it, you use it, but it didn't really make a difference. They went 2 deep. Brooks got to the outside, which is a tough place for the safety to get to. Favre saw it, and a big play.
Well, you counted in a hurry.
I was counting when he was running on.
Brooks already with a monster game.
Heck, that's almost 20 yards a catch.
First down on the 25 of the Lions. Favre's pass up the middle is incomplete, thrown behind Jeff Thomason. That stops the clock with 35 seconds remaining. Ryan Longwell has already kicked 3 field goals for the Packers, including a 50-yarder.
Watch Brian Westbrook. There's a mistake. There's a mistake. You're 5 under 2 deep in your coverage. When he takes the outside, you have to get your hands on him and ride him through the zone to allow your safety to get to that top side.
2nd down and 10. Brooks to the right. Antonio Freeman lined him up to the left. Play fake. Oh, it's intercepted by Porcher.
Threw it right to him.
Robert Porcher with the interception, the 2nd of the game for the Lions. And Mike Wells and Brett Favre jawing at each other, and a flag is down now.
It's going to go against...
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 4 on the defense, grabbing the face mask. 15 yards.
Brett Favre really upset over that interception.
Well, it's a bad throw. I mean, he threw it right to him. He just like he never saw him. Point right to him. And watch at the other end. Now, Favre's kind of standing there, just looking. He got a push. That's a kind of weak penalty. Looks the other way, comes back, throws it. Porcher, who had been down, pops back up and made the interception.
So that is the 2nd interception of the game by the Lions. The first one by Reggie Brown was run back 45 yards for a touchdown. Now the Lions looking to get on the scoreboard again before the intermission. 1st and 10 at midfield. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Scott Mitchell passes to Johnny Morton with good speed, and Morton to the 35-yard line of the Packers. Eugene Robinson, the free safety, and a gain of 15. And the Lions will call another timeout.
And they keep dragging Morton underneath. And any time you start having a guy crossing like that, it needs time. You need time to develop. You watch, he's going to come, and he's just going to run all the way. Now, when you're running like that, you have to have protection up front in order to get that off. There you go, man-to-man inside. Reggie right here. Reggie has the hump, and he threw him, but not in time. Morton cleared back underneath. Mitchell was able to get that off.
Lions relying on Morton this year with two wide receivers with Herman Moore and Morton. Brett Perriman, who used to be the third wide out, now at Kansas City and sitting on the bench. Lions with one timeout left.
Johnny Morton has all the skills. He's got speed up the field. He's a smart player. They just need to get the ball in his hands more. You know what you have in Herman Moore, and really Herman Moore's kind of had a quiet first half.
First and 10 at the 35 of the Packers. 21 seconds remaining in the half. Mitchell going for Herman Moore and thrown over his head in a wise play by Mitchell because Moore was blanketed.
Yeah, and see, I want you to watch what Tyrone Williams does. Remember we showed you that two deep? They're in the same thing. Safety's over the top. Get your hands on him, ride him. See, by riding him and pushing him, that allows your safety to come over the top. Also, Eugene Robinson is looking. They're not going to let Herman Moore beat him.
Second and 10 with 17 seconds remaining in the half. Three wide receivers with Tommy Boyd, number 80, in the slot to the left. They're going to give it to Barry. He gets by Wayne Simmons. And Leroy Butler cut him a bit and out of bounds, stopping the clock with 10 seconds remaining in the half. That turned out to be no gain when it was all over.
Turned out to be no gain. You can credit Leroy Butler. You watch him fly. I want you to watch it. Once he recognizes things, boy, he comes flying up the field. Wayne Simmons gets off the block. Now, there's one miss. Now watch Leroy Butler go up and just attack it. And by him forcing him deep, he made him have to go a little bit deeper, and then he jumped out of bounds. Still missed the tackle.
Field goal from this range would be beyond midfield, beyond 50 for Hansen. And there's a pass to Herman Moore, and it's knocked away by Tyrone Williams. Another fine play by Williams, defending one of the better receivers in the league.
Oh, yeah, but remember, they know fully well where 84 is. Watch Eugene Robinson, 41 up top. And Tyrone Williams is going to hold the outside, knows that he has safety help. And because the ball hung up a little bit, he's able to work back inside.
4 seconds remaining, and Jason Hansen, whose career long field goal is 56 yards, will try this from 53 yards. John Jett, the punter, will hold. Hansen's kick. And it's good. It just gets inside the right upright, and Jason Hansen with a 53-yard field goal as time runs out. That is the end of the first half with the score. The Detroit Lions 17, the Green Bay Packers 9. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Dockers Khakis halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
Look who's moving into Melrose.
Can I buy you a drink?
No. But you can take me to your room and neglect me all night.
A brand new Melrose Place, Monday at 8, 7 Central. Friday, the government's most shocking secret is out.
Are you telling me you have a live extraterrestrial running loose?
An all-new visitor. Then it's a deadly secret that strikes without warning and lives in every one of us. An all-new Millennium right after the visitor, beginning Friday at 8, 7 Central.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 19. Don, our battery expert. You never know when your battery's going to die. But when it does, Don is here to help. Just let Don know what kind of car you drive, and he'll make sure you get the right battery. Better yet, get your car in here, and Don will install an Autocraft battery for you. Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Greenbrier Chrysler Plymouth announces its 1997 minivan sellout. It's the biggest minivan selection at unheard of new 97 minivan prices. Don't pay $1 over factory invoice. Don't pay $1,000 under factory invoice. Brand new 97 Plymouth Voyagers, just $14,990. Sign and drive, no cash down. $199 a month with a $1,000 rebate. Only the biggest Chrysler dealer in 7 states could have a minivan sale this big. And it's only happening at Greenbrier Chrysler Plymouth.
So you want to buy a wireless phone? Great. Our rates are simple and easy to understand. 59 cents for the first minute, 78 cents for the second, 95 for the third, and so on and so on. Monday through Thursday, it goes up. The on and off peak rates are also similar to the peak rates. 45 cents, that's something else we need to talk about. Hello, who is it? It's the deal of the century, and guess what? It's for you.
Don't think so, because with GTE, it's simple. $35, 150 local minutes. Use them anytime. No smoke, no mirrors, no wires. GTE Wireless.
Frasier, weeknights at 6:30 on Fox 33.
Dockers Halftime, brought to you by Dockers Khakis. They look great inside domes or in natural light. Nice, man.
Back here in Hollywood for the Dockers Halftime with Ronnie Howe in Terry and yours truly, JB. Green Bay, 2 turnovers have led to 10 Lions points. Lions on top, 17-9 at the half. Trent Dilfer, top NFL quarterback.
4 touchdown passes versus the Dolphins last Sunday night. Jeff Eagles, this punch blocked by Al Singleton. He picks it up, takes off, 28-yard touchdown. Missed the point after, 6-0 Tampa Bay. Now, look at this. Tampa Bay punting. Fake. Tommy Barnhart finds a wide-open Tony Bowie. 25-yard gain. And then Trent Dilfer, touchdown pass, back looking, firing, quick slant. There it is, Riedel Anthony, the fine young rookie receiver from 8 yards out. It's 12-0, but then, all of a sudden, Rod Moore, skinny post, inside the corner, short of the safety, 21-yarder, and we got us a ball game, 12-7, Bucks over the Cardinals.
Bucks looking for their record 6 straight. The new look, patient Mike Ditka. A new patient Mike Ditka, a new patient Dave Brown. Out in the corner, Kevin Alexander, 32-yard touchdown reception, beats Eric Allen. Brown again. This time Chris Callaway on a little fade route, 14 yards. Giants up 14-3. Go in at halftime, 14-6. Saints holding it close. That one in the third quarter. Jaguars, NFL's longest win streak at 8 games right now, trailing 14-9 against Washington at home. Broncos, friends, Shanahan, Elway doing it to Reeves, 23-7. And the Steelers, what are you screaming about?
Oh, look at this. Steelers, 31-6 over the Oilers.
All right, let's go back and talk a little bit about Green Bay. My goodness, on the road. Now, I know you say you like Brett Favre and his grit, but sometimes it can get him in trouble, Howie.
Well, you know, Brett Favre is so good, I think he believes he can do anything. As you saw, Aaron Taylor trips him up on the one play. He tries to make an errant pass from his knees. Another play gets picked off on a screen pass. But, you know, the Packers have to be frustrated. This thing could be worse than it is. Mitchell overthrew 2 plays that could have been touchdowns, and the defense for Green Bay has played well with the exception of a reverse to Morton and that one run to Sanders. Defense has got to be puzzled. I guarantee you that locker room is going to be very animated.
Yes, it is. It's going to be animated, and Fritz Schumann, the defensive coordinator, he has to get these guys to tackle better. You will see a lot of Barry Sanders in the second half. They're going to try to control the clock. They're going to run him. They got to figure out a way to get the ball from Barry Sanders.
See, that's Green Bay's theory. Green Bay's theory is we get ahead and then we run, and people think, well, that's not what Mike Holmgren wants to do, but in fact it is. But you cannot turn the ball over when you're traveling into hostile territory, and Brett has got to play a little bit smarter. You can't be thrown off your knees. You just don't do that. You give them two very cheap turnovers, one that leads to a touchdown, and it makes it very hard, especially when you're not running the ball at all. I'm talking about the Green Bay there.
Green Bay, 22nd in the league against the run. You would just give that ball to Barry Sanders over and over and over again.
I know you would, Coach.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Not a good turf team, especially in domes.
Should I take that as a compliment?
And full moons.
No. Why did I know that? In a bit, we'll send you back to the second half of course, Green Bay Packers and Detroit Lions. I will take Coach as a compliment because I was right. Dockers halftime continues.
I didn't say you weren't right now. I didn't say you weren't right.
The new Fox Sunday night is bigger than ever. Starting with host James Brown and the all-new World's Funniest. Then someone in Springfield is hiding their secret identity.
I don't have to listen to these wild allegations.
An all-new Simpsons and It's coming. Hold on to your drawers. This brand new King of the Hill will blow you away, followed by the X-Files. It all starts tonight at 7, 6 Central on Fox.
I'm Mark Tremere, tight end for the Green Bay Packers, and this is my family, my wife Linda and my son Dylan. As new parents, we know the joy and love you feel for your child, and also the responsibility ensuring that they'll grow up to be healthy and safe. At this United Way funded child care center, we're seeing the real impact these programs have in the lives of people who really need our help. NFL and the United Way are making better communities for all of us to live in.
The NFL, the United Way, and you, the power of teamwork.
Being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame was one of my proudest moments. But visiting the hall in Canton, Ohio is every bit as much of a thrill. 5 buildings capturing the drama and emotion of all the great plays and players, to say nothing of the great coaches. The hands-on interactive exhibits are great fun. And this state-of-the-art turntable theater, Game Day Stadium, is an awesome experience. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. It's a real kick.
Power and desire versus character and tradition. Last year, David Cohn was the turning point in the Yankees World Championship. Now, in Game 1 of the AL Division Series, he faces postseason powerhouse Oral Hershiser and the Central Division champion Indians. A whole new season begins as Cleveland battles New York. The American League Division Series begins Tuesday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Fox.
Halftime, the Lions leading the Packers 17-9, and will return to the Pontiac Silverdome for the start of the second half after these messages from your local Fox station.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
You are a news junkie. Just admit it. Come clean, just say no, and say yes to Vine.
Late Night Talk from Quincy Jones.
Weeknights at 10 on Fox 33. Where can you get 2.9% financing on 12 different models?
The Big Value, Big Savings event right now at your Chevy Geo dealers.
With 2.9% financing on 6 Chevy cars. Lumina, Cavalier, Monte Carlo, Camaro, Prism, and Metro.
And 2.9% on 6 Chevy trucks. Blazer, S10, Tracker, Venture Minivan, Astro Van, and G-Van.
But hurry, because 2.9% financing won't last long.
So do you think they got it?
Oh, yeah, they got it.
From sports events to the latest scores to sports news, Cox Cable brings you the most action from the sports you want to watch. For about $1 a day, you can enjoy a wide variety of exciting channels with the best entertainment, information, and programming available. Call for Cox Cable now and get free installation of Cox Standard Service on up to 2 TVs. And ask about special savings on Cox Premium packages, too.
Why shop the department stores when S&K has thousands of suits on sale? Right now, you can take home 2 S&K suits for less than you'd expect to pay for 1 department store suit. And you get 2 for under $200. So pick up your next double play at S&K.
$2,000 cash back.
Best savings of the year.
For a limited time.
Now, get the best savings ever on Chrysler and Plymouth's Best. $2,000 cash back on the award-winning Plymouth Neon and Plymouth Breeze. Or get Plymouth Voyager, now the lowest price minivan you can buy. Plus, there's up to $2,000 on select Chryslers. And for the first time, even $1,000 cash back on the best-selling Sebring convertible. It's the Chrysler and Plymouth Best of the Best clearance for a limited time only at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
Frasier, weeknights at 6:30 on Fox 33.
Welcome back to the Silverdome in Pontiac, where the Lions, in a surprise, lead the Packers 17-9. And this first half highlight is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT. And it got the Detroit Lions going. It was Reggie Brown's interception for a touchdown, Matt.
Well, it was Reggie Brown's interception. It was Brett Favre's trying to make a play. And it was Luther Ellis who got the push that made Aaron Taylor step on his foot. All those things happened, but it was 6 points the other way.
Now, you know, a lot of people would say when the Lions lost to New Orleans last week, they'd be looking ahead. And, of course, a tough game for the Packers last week. They've got Tampa Bay next week. How do you read this game so far? It looks like an upset is a distinct possibility.
Oh, it always is, and especially in the division. More than that, see, they know each other. There's familiarity. It's a division game. They know all these things. Favre has not played particularly well here in Detroit and against the Lions. So all those things come into play, plus there's Barry Sanders. On top of that, I think the Lions' defense is playing pretty good.
How about Brett Favre against the Lions, including today, 15 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. The rest of the NFL, a totally different story. So Favre, since 1993, those numbers have shown he's been struggling a little bit, although both of them have been victories. Now let's take a look at the halftime numbers.
Well, you can see time of possession in the beginning of the game. Green Bay really controlled it, and then it stopped. Total yards, 250 to 164. And I think the biggest thing, which these numbers aren't telling, is the big plays. You can see there was the interception. There was 2 of them, one for the score, one led to another score. And then I think the Detroit Lions defensively are playing pretty good. I mean, they don't have any real great players, but they're playing collectively pretty well.
And you know that we're going to go at Brian Westbrook, who has been beaten a few times, some penalties, but he's held their own. It looks like
yes, he has. And again, learning on the job.
And they've gotten some pressure up front by the defensive line. So the Lions see what happens in the final 30 minutes. Bill Schrader returning from the end zone. Schrader gets some running room for the Packers. And Schrader knocked out of bounds by Greg Jeffries. So with Don Beebe, flag is down, by the way. Don Beebe, he joined us late. Was carried off the field on a stretcher, but regained his consciousness and all his faculties. They x-rayed his neck.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 55 on the kicking team. 15 yards, first down.
Late hit Antonio London. So tack on another 15 yards to the Packers, and good return by Schrader.
Yeah, Schrader got up the sideline right there. He's out of bounds. And he clearly hit him in that wide area, and he had time to pull off for. That's a good call. Officials have been. I got to tell you, the games that I've had, we've had good officiating.
Yeah, they're right there, and they know when to pick it up when they have to do that too. Good field position, first down at the 46, and the pass off the hands of Jeff Thomason, and that was nearly intercepted. Stephen Boyd in the neighborhood, and George Jameson starting today in place of Antonio London, that strong side linebacker. Nearly got him.
Favre knows where he wants to go. The ball hits him right in the chest. he forgets the other half of that is to hold on to it. But again, look at the people around the ball. Every time there's a play, the Detroit guys, they are swarming to the football.
That's the kind of aggressiveness that Bobby Ross wants and has had in his coaching career. 2nd and 10, Favre. Down he goes. Robert Porcher, and that is the first sack of the game by the Detroit Lions, but that doesn't mean they haven't put pressure on Brett, because they have.
Well, that's the first sack by Porcher. You can see Luther Elson's going off holding that right arm. Watch Porcher up top. Remember earlier he came around and slapped the ball away. Watch Kerwin Waldrop back underneath. Mike Wells is also there. Wells is the guy who makes the play. Porcher makes the sack.
5th sack of the season for Porcher. Ellis is out of the game right now. 3rd down and 11. 4 wide receivers for the Packers. And this pass is caught by Brooks at the 40-yard line, and it's a first down for Green Bay.
I'll tell you who's getting some pressure is Kerwin Waldrop. Waldrop is working on John Michael. And he's right here. He's going to work up, try to get him to commit up top. Now, boom, go right around outside. And that's a poor job by John Michael. And a great job by Brett Favre of staying with it and getting rid of the ball. They got to get better at their left tackle. They don't get better at their left tackle, they're going to have a lot of problems this year.
It's been Michaels today. Verba played well last week. First down on the Lions 40. Dorsey Levens going left. Bad tackling by the Lions. Finally, Shane Bonham makes the stop inside the 25. Another first down, a gain of 17.
But you know where that whole thing started? Started on the left side with Michael. John Michael got the block to seal everybody on the inside. You're going to watch. Comes outside, now seal. Now because he sealed everything, there's no flow from the inside. And once he made that block, you get William Henderson, makes the block for Reggie Brown, and then it's downfield and a first down. See, in this league, everybody beats somebody and everybody gets beat. And Michaels is going to get beat, but you have to lessen that.
Quick handoff to Levens, and it's Stephen Boyd. No gain on the play. Early here in the third quarter, Dick Stockton along with Matt Millen. The Green Bay Packers coming in 3-1, trailing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Central. And the Lions licking their wounds after a loss at New Orleans last week, realizing how important this game is for them to get back into contention in the division.
Well, and they're playing pretty well defensively.
2nd and 10. Lions have had good success against the Packers here at home. Here is Brooks underneath. And Brooks fumbles, and they blow it dead. May not have the first down, but it is still Packers possession, and the ball is blown dead at about the 12-yard line.
Mike Holmgren is one of a handful of guys in this league who attack defenses when he calls the game. And he'll move people all over the place because what he's trying to do is mess with your coverage. That time they took Thomason, they moved him wide outside, and that forced the safety to vacate the middle. He likes to attack a defense, if he can, to the middle of the thing. He likes to attack it right to the middle.
As we have a measurement, we have an update on Don Beebe's injury. Remember, he was taken off on a stretcher after one of those serious injury situations, hadn't moved, regained consciousness. He's been taken to a hospital for better x-rays, and the Packers expect that Don Beebe will be able to fly home on the team charter after the game.
That's good news. Those things always scare me. And that was a first down, incidentally.
Packers threatening, trailing 17-9. They have yet to score a touchdown in this game. They're on the 12. Waldrop got back in time, and here's a fade to Brooks. Flag is down.
They're going to get Bryant Westbrook. Looks like Bryant Westbrook got his hands. He went for the double move. He pumped, came inside. Westbrook got his hand back on him, past the 5 yards. Hey, you know, he's a rookie, and that's what they're going to call. And they're going to continue to go after him.
Illegal contact. Number 32 defense.
So you have 5 yards right here.
5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So now he's past the 5 yards. He's going to make him bite. There's the bump. There's the push. That's what they're calling. Oh, boy, what a great effort. Actually, that's not a bad penalty. If you feel like you're going to get beat, you're giving up the outside. Heck, take the penalty and live another down.
Robert Brooks already has established a career high with 163 yards receiving on 9 catches. And we're very early here in this third quarter. Packers with a first and goal on the Lions 7. They send Levens in motion. Favre up the middle, and the pass knocked away, intended for Freeman. And that time the rookie Westbrook made a good play breaking it up.
Coverage was there. The ball was there. That should have been 6. Antonio Freeman working in the slot. Westbrook knows he has him to the inside. Tries to drive him. Get your hands on him. Here's the ball. Nice job by Westbrook of getting his left hand on the inside arm of Freeman to ensure that he doesn't make the catch. But that should be 6.
I recall what Mark Carrier told us yesterday about Westbrook. If you're going to get beat deep, get beat, but don't get beat ugly.
Don't get beat ugly.
Good advice. Second and goal. Favre drills it, batted in the air, caught for the touchdown by Schrader.
Just like they drew it up in the playbook.
Bill Schrader, who is not expected to play today. We were told he would be inactive, suited up nonetheless, did not return the early kicks, came on, and now on a deflection catches a touchdown pass, the first of the game for the Packers.
Remember, this is a rule change that happened a few years ago, and they're going to go for 2 points.
It is 17-15, and Mike Holmgren says go for the 2.
It used to be that if your guy touched it first, you couldn't catch it. There had to be somebody in between. Well, they changed that.
Packers 1 for 1 on 2-point conversions thus far. Favre pass doesn't make it, and a flag is down. And Favre. Now we have a Packer that is slow getting up. It's Michaels who's shaken up. John Michael.
That's motion against the Packers.
That'll be declined.
No, well, it depends. See, because if it's
illegal shift, 2 men moving, and they didn't reset prior to the snap. That penalty will be declined.
So the 2-point conversion attempt fails. Michaels seems to be hurting big time. And the Lions maintain their lead despite the touchdown, 17-15.
The completely reinvented 205 horsepower Isuzu Rodeo.
Welcome to the forefront of the economic revolution. This is the headquarters of the Palm Beach Communist Party.
It's more a gift shop, really. Marx is back, but with the style and the flair of the 90s. This is one of our most popular items. This is our Lotus Domino intranet. Vendors and suppliers are connected, and of course, the workers. We're Marxists, but we got to make a buck like everybody else.
You're attacking capitalism with its own tools.
Actually, we're reducing cycle time and improving customer service.
A lot of comrades spraying in their graves right now.
On Fox, NFL Sunday, the road trip continues as the pregame team leaves the comfort of their Malibu home and returns to Green Bay once again. Then, the surprising Buccaneers visit Lambeau Field in a battle of the Bays. Two-time MVP Brett Favre and the Packer offense look to gun down the Bucs, while Dungy's D is out to prove that Tampa is an NFC power. Fox NFL Sunday next week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Isuzu, builders of the completely reinvented 1998 Isuzu Rodeo. Isuzu, go farther. By Starter, professional sportswear worn by more teams and more major sports than any other brand. And by DVD video from Philips Magnavox. Technology for the heart, the spirit, and the imagination.
Back here at the Silverdome in Pontiac, John Michaels being tended to with his right ankle, right foot over on the sideline. The Packers have come within 2 points of the Lions on an 8-play, 54-yard scoring drive. Bill Schrader with a 7-yard touchdown catch on a deflection. Only his second catch of the year. And touchdown number 1. And the kickoff by Longwell is Glenn Milburn, a yard in the end zone. Milburn on the return. The flag is down. And Milburn was hit by Lamont Hollingquest. So this may set the Lions back deeper in their own territory.
It's a hold.
Bob McElwee, our referee.
Holding number 52 on the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
I want you to watch a couple components in this touchdown. First of all, he's going to try to hit Mickens on the end. Favre knows he has to put some mustard on it, so he really gives him one of those Bradshaw balls. And because of the velocity, it bounces off of Mickens, and then on the other side, you know, you talk about old Steelers, it's Franco Harrisism. See, good things happen to those who go to the ball. Remember the immaculate reception? You go to the football, it happens.
He never quit running and hustling. Lions on their 10-yard line. Barry Sanders slipped and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
And Brian Williams made the tackle. The guy who made the play is big Gilbert Brown inside. Gilbert Brown, remember I told you about he's the best point man in the league? Every defense has to have a guy that you work off of, that you know there's going to be a point where you can work off. And so what he does is he comes up and he stuffs everything. Then you can flow and everything works from that. And his knees bothered him. You can see him but he's still holding a point.
It's a homecoming game for Gilbert Brown from Farmington, Michigan. They send Barry Sanders in motion to the right. Mitchell throwing left to Herman Moore and pushed out of bounds by Tyrone Williams after a minimal gain.
Now, when you know you have a guy who's going to be the point, you have to take care of him. So what you do is you have to commit 2 guys to him. See, Jeff Hardings and Kevin Glover, they're going to stay on him because they're not going to get any kind of a push up inside.
Lions bring in Glenn Milburn and Tommy Boyd. They have 4 wide receivers and 3 to the right side as Gilbert Brown comes out. Now Milburn in motion. Mitchell going downfield to Herman Moore. And he's got it. Big play for the Lions. Mike Pryor defending and a gain of 45 yards for Detroit.
That was a nice job of adjusting by Herman Moore and a great job by Scott Mitchell of throwing the ball away because Mike Pryor, 39, had the coverage. Reggie White forces the play, gets him out of the pocket. Now he throws the ball to the opposite side, and Moore, who's covered fine by Pryor, just makes the adjustment in mid-flight, comes back and makes the ball catch.
That is the 3rd reception of the game for Herman Moore. First down, Barry Sanders cutting inside and would have broken it more were it not for the tackle by Eugene Robinson, but it is close to a first down, and it is another first down for the Lions. Barry Sanders today, who has had a long run of 46 yards, has moved into 5th place in the all-time NFL rushing leaders, passing Franco Harris, and now he's got Jim Brown in his sights.
He could end up being number 2 by the end of the season.
That's a great one to have in your sights. Coming up next is the great Jim Brown. It is just a first down, barely, for the Lions. 88 yards on 12 carries for Barry Sanders, who has yet to carry 20 times in a game this year.
They got to keep handling the ball, especially in a game like this. Things are tight. Keep people off balance. You have your play action. You hand him the ball.
And avoid number 93 at all costs. Sanders going right up the middle, gets about 3. Gilbert Brown making the tackle on the play. A lot of pointing going on.
That's Gabe Wilkins working down there.
Mike Compton doing some pointing.
Now, you know what happens is guys start getting frustrated because you're getting held all the time. Remember, they changed the way you can block in this league. And so there used to be that if you had your hands on somebody, you had to work back inside. Now, the big Ray Roberts, 72, sometimes they just clamp on you. And if it's away from the play, they let it go.
2nd down and 6, Tommy Boyd. And Johnny Morton are the 2 wide receivers, and it's a play fake. Mitchell goes down the sidelines, batted away by Roderick Mullen on the pass intended for Johnny Morton.
Nice coverage by Roderick Mullen, working on Johnny Morton to the outside. So much of coverage is anticipation. Watch him come up, know the route, comes from film study, and then make your break.
Mullen, who's starting today in place of the injured Doug Evans, was picked up on waivers from the New York Giants last year, had been their nickel cornerback, but forced to start. You know, the Packers have lost their starting corners. 3rd and 6 coming up. Mitchell going underneath, and the pass is complete to Johnny Morton. Short of the first down by about 4 or 5 yards.
Remember we said at the beginning, you're going to watch Leroy Butler, you had to be aware of where he was going to be. When Butler's up in that slot position, you have to know he's going to come. It's a nice job by Barry Sanders of being aware and then stepping up and getting in the way.
Eugene Robinson with the alert tackle, so that will force Jason Hansen, who ended the first half with a booming 53-yard field goal that might have scraped the right upright going through. This from 44 yards out, and Hansen's kick is good. So the Detroit Lions now lead the Green Bay Packers by a score of 20-15. We'll be back.
Hey, I'm just going to try this one on.
Starter laboratory testing with Emmett Smith in area.
Thank you for volunteering. We've been waiting for you. Here, have a seat.
All right, I want you to show some enthusiasm. So what if it's a little cold? I have to play in the snow. I want to hear some cheering and some clapping. Here's some wind. Okay, your starter approved.
Maybe this one.
Maybe you should try it on.
Starter, available at Champ Sports now.
So I got off the elevator and said, what is this, the 7th inning stretch? American Express.
Lovely.
Let's do the whole country. I'm a little light on the lingo.
Get a full gander down the front with me.
All right.
We've got Cornish pasties, bangers and mash, public sweet, and lovely Tony the Owl.
That was a wicked googly. So I took a butcher's up the apples and pears and said, what is this, the tea interval? All over the world, you can do more with the American Express card.
The world is filled with obstacles, boundaries, and limits. Ignore them. Introducing the completely reinvented 205 horsepower Isuzu Rodeo.
Will Valerie choose the man of her dreams
He's handsome. He's rich.
or the man she can't live without? A brand new 90210 Wednesday.
7:34 remaining in the third quarter. The Lions leading the Packers now 20-15. Jason Hansen's 44-yard field goal, his second field goal of the game, capping an 8-play, 64-yard drive. John Michaels has a twisted knee, uncertain as to whether he'll be back. Mark Shimura has a concussion. And Derek Mays has an injured ankle, so the injury parade continues for the Green Bay Packers. This kick by Hansen sails out of the end zone for a touchback, and the Pack will take it at the 20-yard line. We'll return in a moment with the Lions leading by 5.
Sea turtles. They bury their eggs in some tropical beach. When the eggs hatch, the babies find their way to the water and across miles of ocean. Now, we also have this built-in sense of direction when we're in our own shells.
Karn, the car navigation system from Philips Magnavox. It shows exactly how to get to where you want to go.
Man has finally caught up with nature.
Joe, Willie, name it. You got it?
A week went by when it suddenly dawned on me.
You get your 14,000 over 3 years.
Do I really want to return to football? Today's players are very fast. And while Zoom Air could make me faster, it made them faster too. There would be no comeback for old Broadway Joe.
They've upped it to 19 over 4, Joe.
Okay, I'm listening.
Go farther. The completely reinvented 205 horsepower Isuzu Rodeo.
The government's most shocking secret is out.
Are you telling me you have a live extraterrestrial running loose?
An all-new Visitor, Friday at 8/7 Central.
Second half of our Fox NFL doubleheader, the Bears and the Cowboys, the featured game. And a couple of things you may want to mull over between these teams. The Bears have won 4 of the last 6 against Dallas, but Chicago off to its worst start. Since 1969, the Cowboys have won 6 out of 8 after the bye week. Just something to chew over as you get ready for game 2. Ross Verba in at left tackle as the Packers start from the 20-yard line. Brett Favre getting a lot of time and overthrows William Henderson. And right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Hey, Dick, an unfortunate flashback for Trent Dilfer, who throws only his 3rd pick of the season. Aeneas Williams picks it off, returns it 42 yards for the score. 2-point conversion is good, 18-12. Arizona over top of Tampa Bay in the 3rd. Back to Dick in a pizza-eating match.
He caught me. I was waiting for this. Now let's see how Dilfer reacts having to come back.
2nd and 10. That's a good defense that the Cardinals have. Here's Dorsey Levens. And Levens picks up about 2. Kerwin Waldrop in on the tackle. The Lions have used Scroggins and Bonham up front now in their defensive front 4.
Well, they were rotating all kinds of people, but Ross Verber, number 78, is a guy I told you about earlier. And what he is, he's a guy with an attitude. He plays offensive line like a defensive player. He doesn't stop. He kind of has some Steve Wisniewski in him, and I think that's good. You play from whistle to whistle.
There's John Michaels on the sidelines with an injury. Brett Favre, 4 yards away from 20,000 passing yards in his career. 3rd and 8, and the clock has gone down. And we did not see a flag initially, but that's got to be delay of the game. 5-yard penalty will be marked off against Green Bay. So it'll be 3rd and 13. 6:32 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Lions have always seemed to play well against the top teams in the league at home. They did against Dallas and San Francisco, and they were dominant. They're playing well today against Green Bay thus far. Brett Favre escapes a problem, and the pass is intercepted by Brian Westbrook. The flag is down. And Westbrook is tackled back at the 40 by Jeff Thomason. Let's see what the penalty is all about.
Well, the receiver fell down.
No, it's going to be against the Lions.
And that might be the reason why he fell down. Little push action there.
Defensive pass interference, number 32, first down.
Well, he's had a sweet and sour game, hasn't he, Westbrook?
Yeah, they're going to go after him. Working on Robert Brooks. Breaks back to the inside, a little bit of a hold, and then Brooks just fell down. And they're going to call that hold that he got his hand on. Larry Peccatello, the defensive coordinator, saying, come on over here, Rook. Settle down a little bit. Westbrook's going to be okay. He's learning. He's being baptized here by Brett Favre.
Robert Bailey has replaced Westbrook in the secondary. Flags are down. And this pass intended for Freeman is caught. And a first down into Lion territory, but 12 flags are down. That's the second time if that's the call.
Yeah, they got it. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They had 13.
They call an offside. Too many men. You're right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12.
Field defense. Both penalties are declined. First down.
No, it's 13. That was 13. I was wrong. So they beat him with 12, and they beat him with 13.
And now Favre has beaten him by going over 20,000 career passing yards, and he's done it in 86 games. Fastest to 20,000. Bobby Ross said he's as good as any quarterback that's ever played the game. He's tough. He's got evasive qualities. And he's got a quick release. First down on the 45 of the Lions after the penalty, and Dorsey Levens is stopped by Kerwin Waldrop.
One thing the Packers don't do real well is they don't come off the ball and get physical with you right in front of you. And they like to run the old San Francisco stuff where it's going across the backfield motion a lot of the time. Now, they'll go with lead draws, sprint draws, and that kind of stuff up inside. But for the most part, the strength of their running game is to the outside. Now, when they get Frank Winters back, the inside running game should happen a little easier.
They hope they'll get him back next week against Tampa Bay. 2nd and 9. Fake, and a long pass attempt incomplete. And a flag goes down as Robert Brooks was hit by Mark Carrier downfield, and Westbrook as well, and another flag goes down. He took his helmet off.
Right.
You know what that means?
Well, he's saying my chin strap is broken. That's a good move. I'd use that one.
That's easy to do, isn't it?
They're going to call that on Carrier. I don't see how they can call pass interference on Carrier. He's working on Westbrook outside. They're going to try to get him to bite inside, get back up top. Nice job by Westbrook. Stay with it. Here comes the ball. That's clean, good football. I don't see any pass interference.
Ball was past him, Matt.
He caught, but doesn't bang.
That didn't affect the count.
No, that's perfect safety play.
Carrier.
Did you see the official? Did you see the official?
Yeah. He put a lick on Robert Brooks. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Carrier, who's claiming that his chin strap broke, which is why he had to take his helmet.
Or maybe he's saying that his the helmet came off when he made the hit. The other thing they could say is that it was a hit to the head, but his chin strap stayed on, helmet stayed on.
It's personal foul defense, not defensive pass interference. Back here.
They could have called, a blow to the head with a defenseless receiver, but he didn't say that.
No.
I don't see what they're calling. I'm missing something.
Well, he took away the pass interference call, Matt, and he made it a personal foul, so he went in with his helmet, which you can't do at any time. And I think that's what they call the penalty on.
We have 2 fouls on the play.
Here he goes.
We have a personal foul and necessary roughness,
that's what
which will be assessed 15 yards. And then we have a helmet violation. Pulling off the helmet and berating an official will be another 15 yards. First down.
Carrier is guilty of both of them, but it was not pass interference. It was a personal foul. And this is where Carrier got that second penalty.
Well, you know what? It's the new rule, and they're going to call it because his helmet's off. It was supposed to be for demonstration, all that stuff. Then I think what they really got him for was berating the official, which was worse. But I got to tell you something.
Lion defensive backs have been penalized 6 times for 96 yards. That's just the secondary.
I think that's a bad call on Carrier. He came through. There was no attempt to try to helmet to helmet. Just that happened in the middle of the play. He was aggressive. He made the hit. Unnecessary roughness. Now, I better stop here because I'm going to start getting mad. They're taking the football out of football.
Robert Bailey has replaced Brian Westbrook at cornerback once again. First down at the 14.
Looks like Ross Berber got a little bit of a jump over there.
False start, number 78.
That's the call.
5 yards.
You get a feeling this is an NFC Central Division game? That's why I love them.
Anytime you have division games, you know each other, you know what to expect. There's a familiarity, and that always breeds good, tough football game.
One of the longest rivalries in the history of the NFL. Playing before a sellout crowd of over 80,000. It'll be first down and 15 for the Packers on the Lion 19. Dorsey Levens finds a hole, and Levens fumbles. Flag is down. Penalty marker thrown. Levens had fumbled. And we'll wait for the official call. Lions recover. Harry Colin got in and forced the fumble.
Holding number 83 offense, that penalty is declined.
And the Lions get it back. Jeff Thomason was holding.
You see what happened? Mark Carrier took his helmet off again and then quick put it back on.
Lions ball. We'll be right back to Pontiac.
Send your packages in 2 days with FedEx to lots of different places. You get lots of different prices.
Send your packages in 2 days with UPS to lots of different places. You get lots of different prices.
Send your packages in 2 to 3 days with priority mail to lots of different places. You get the same price.
You know, $3.
So, what's your priority? Priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Meet a guy who missed the boat.
Yeah, I didn't know so many companies were buying Micron computers direct. I had no idea Micron had won over 200 product and service awards. Who would have guessed that Micron made desktops, notebooks, and enterprise servers? I didn't even know they were a leader in price and performance. The guy in the mailroom knew. You knew.
Hey, Tom, now you know. Micron desktops feature Intel Pentium 2 processors.
Hi, I'm Terry Bradshaw. In case you missed it, here's what you would have seen on Fox NFL Sunday.
Could you hit an apple off my boy's head?
Well, I could if you made it a red apple instead of one of those gold ones.
Amazon been disappeared for about 3 weeks.
What are you laughing about?
There's other people on this show, you
Well,
know.
I know, but I had a lot. Watch Fox NFL Sunday. Next week, we're going to be in Green Bay, Lambeau Field. That'll be coming at you at noon Eastern and 9 Pacific.
Then we talked about staying with the play till it's over. Watch Robert Bailey, 35. Now, he's going to be blocked by Robert Brooks, and he just stays with it. Stay with it, fight, fight, fight. Here comes Levins. Get your hand in. Now, great awareness. Feel the ball, rip it out. Colin made the hit, and then Bailey stripped the thing out, and that's a great job of being aware of where you're at on the field. And then on the other side, it just flops around, and George Jamison, he wins the wrestling match.
That is the third turnover by the Packers. Lions have protected the ball pretty well, and the Lions capitalized on one of them, of course, with Reggie Brown returning an interception for a touchdown. In the last drive, combined 5 plays, 6 penalties.
Ooh, that's ugly football.
Ball at the 2-yard line for the Lions. First down. They'll give it to Barry. Look at that move by Barry Sanders. That is amazing. Terrific running to get out of deep trouble.
Barry Sanders is the first human being I've ever watched who can go two directions at one time. Watch it. Gilbert Brown plays this perfectly. Look, split the double team, come right up, beats it. 1, 2, makes him go the other way. And then there's a missed tackle by Simmons. And then finally Bernardo Harris is able to get there.
Second down and 6. Mitchell from the end zone fires it, and the pass is caught by Herman Moore, and that's a first down, and that is a big play for the Detroit Lions with Mullen covering.
He just got that ball off because Reggie White put a move on Larry Tharp, threw him into the next zip code. And watch, he's going to work up the field. Watch Reggie White and Tharp. Now they're not giving him help. They're going to let him be out there all by himself. He works up the field, and there he goes into the next county. And then the hit, but Mitchell is able to stand in there and make the throw.
Darius Holland is in for Gilbert Brown at tackle. 1st and 10 on the 17. And Tommy Bardell getting a rare call, picks up a couple of yards.
He's at the bottom of that pile is Leroy Butler. Leroy Butler does a lot of different things for this defense. And you always have to be aware of where he's at. I mean, he'll line up sometimes as a safety deep. He'll walk up and he'll be a linebacker. He'll take the slot man and the nickel. He'll double guys. He's all over the place, and you have to be aware. They put him in a position to make plays.
Second down and 8. And
hey, you know what that was, Dick? That's a flag.
Snap. Number 72 offense.
Ray Roberts, left
5
tackle.
yards, second down.
Yeah, part of that was because there's a little cat and mouse game going on between Mitchell and Butler. So he's watching him and he's seeing what he's going to do. Watch Leroy Butler. He's trying to be sneaky. Sneak up there. Now, see that point? Did you see Glover? Glover knows where he's at, so he points to him. Now they try to check things at the line of scrimmage, but that made Ray Roberts jump outside.
He flinched, and that'll be 5-yard penalty. We have had 17 penalties. Detroit over 100 yards now. 2nd and 13. Mitchell completes the pass to Johnny Morton. And the whistle blows, and Tyrone Williams wrestling Morton down after a pickup of 9.
Johnny Morton's pretty good. This is what Green Bay has said. We're not going to let Herman Moore beat us. We're going to keep our coverage to him. We're going to double him. And then Morton on the other side, you're going to get more of a single coverage. And so you're going to be the guy who has to beat us.
Moore has never caught double-figure catches against the Packers in his career. 3rd down and 4. Missile slant incomplete for Morton. And that will bring up 4th down. Rookie Darren Sharper was defending on the play, and so John Jett will come in to kick it away.
Man, there was a lot of good X and O's going on right there. They put 3 receivers to one side to draw the coverage and then tried to hit Morton on the backside, manned up. I love that stuff.
Your kind of game.
I love that. I love the thinking part of football.
Bill Schrader back deep for the Packers. John Jett will kick. Good kick by Jett. Here is Schrader. Finds a hole, an opening. And Schrader goes out of bounds. But the Packers will have the solid field position for Brett Favre. And a flag is down back at the 30.
This is not a well-played game. There's been a lot of miscues today.
That'll be against the Packers. That'll nullify a great return to the 49.
Pushing it back, remember.
Illegal block in the back during the run back. Number 32, 10 yards, first
Travis
down.
Jury.
Timeout.
Here's the rule. If you don't see his front number, don't block him.
Good idea.
No mustard? Clean. Hey, nice. I got something for you, Mommy.
Hey, that's my duck! You follow that guy. Buddy, move, I'm a cow. What is? Come on, man, move it. Slow down. He's just a moped, all right? I'd like to apprehend him in one piece. Whoa! Hey! You had him!
Love you, baby.
What is your deal? It's just a misdemeanor. You can let him go.
In some cases, you can believe what you see on TV. Try it for yourself tonight.
David Cohn and the Yankees take on Oral Hershiser and the Indians. The American League Division Series begins Tuesday on Fox. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by MGM's Gang Related, starring James Belushi and Tupac Shakur in his last screen performance. Opens October 8th everywhere. Rated R.
Back at the Silver Dome, a further report on Don Beebe. X-rays encouraging, and it's a possibility that Don Beebe, who was carted off the field, could be back in the stadium before the end of this game. The news continues to be better and better on Don Beebe. Brett Favre to Jeff Thomason. Spins away. And out of bounds. And that will be a Packer first down. And we've been talking about the Packer injuries today, and there have been many of them. Don Beebe, of course, the most serious of them. And the news has been good on him. But Mark Shimura out with a concussion. Derek Mays did not return with an ankle injury. And then John Michaels, the left tackle, injured knee with Ross Verber replacing him. And, of course, Mr. Winters didn't even suit up today, and they hope to get him back.
Doug Evans. Doug Evans and Frank Winters, old Frankie Bag of Donuts.
Only you could call on that and get away with it. 1st and 10 at the 33. Favre's pass nearly intercepted by Brian Westbrook.
That Westbrook's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. What he does is anticipates well. Again, they're going after him because he's a rookie, and he's learning this game, and he's learning how to play the defense. But he answers the bell. He broke on that ball way before Brooks did. He sees things pretty well.
What a baptism to know you're being picked on by Brett Favre and those receivers of the world
make him better.
Huh?
It's going to make him better. He's going to be all right out there.
He's handling it very well. 2nd and 10. 1:11 remaining in the third quarter. Travis Jervey and Porche got the first hit on him. Dorsey Levens, I should say. Levens with the carry. And a pickup of 3.
The one thing about this Green Bay Packer team is that they don't really do well on AstroTurf. You can see Brett Favre on the AstroTurf, 7-18 his record. And look at this, the interceptions, 36 of them, including today, which is really kind of amazing. That's something they tried to shake last year, but looks like the old turf monster's back.
Here comes a cornerback blitz, and the pass is caught. Incomplete. Did not have control. Antonio Freeman has not had a good start in this season. He has dropped more balls this year than I've ever watched him. And I think he's letting it get to his head. Every time I think he's starting to press now. There's the ball. I got to cradle it in. He was never a guy to cradle. He was a guy to just catch it. That one was jarred away, but he has dropped more than his shares so far this year. 19 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Glenn Milburn, who has not had a good year thus far as a kick returner, been one of the disappointments for the Lions. He's back there deep with Craig Hentrick to boot it away. Milburn at the 20. And Mike Pryor brings him down at the 30-yard line. Well, Tuesday on Fox, Game 1 of the American League Championship, or I should say Division Series, the Cleveland Indians against the New York Yankees, who are looking to repeat as world champions. Season series won by the Yankees by the thinnest of margins, 6-5. It all starts on Fox, live at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on Fox. There's an Indian fan. That'll be quite a series. 1st and 10 at the 31. Herman Moore times it, leads, flag down. Tyrone Williams was step for step with Herman Moore.
You can't defend that any better at all. And the ball was thrown perfectly by Mitchell, and you just throw it up high. Remember, he's 6'4", and even in tight coverage, he's going to go up and get it.
Defensive pass interference, number 37. Penalty is declined. Catch is completed. First down.
Good defense. Use the sideline. Look when he looks right on top of him. There's a lot of bumping going on. Advantage, Moore.
6'4" against 5'11". And it was the 6'4" guy who won it. And that is the end of the third quarter. With the score, the Detroit Lions 20, the Green Bay Packers 15. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station.
November's biggest event, the X-Files season premiere, coming November 2nd.
It's Ford's factory-authorized clearance.
So you just want me to talk about my car?
I like the Taurus.
That was the most comfortable ride.
And I got the same deal. It's going on now at your Ford dealer, and it's almost over. The final days are here. Get low 2.9 financing on Ford Escort. Cash back as high as $2,500 on Taurus SHO. $1,500 cash back on Windstar. Hurry to your neighborhood Ford dealer. Ford's factory-authorized clearance ends October 1st.
I bought it on the spot. So you want to buy a wireless phone? Great. Our rates are simple and easy to understand. 59 cents for the first minute, 78 cents for the second, 95 for the third, and so on and so on. Monday through Thursday, it goes up. The on and off peak rates are also similar to the peak rates. 45 cents, that's something else we need to talk about. Hello, who is it? It's the deal of the century, and guess what? It's for you.
Don't think so, because with GTE, it's simple. $35, 150 local minutes. Use them anytime. No smoke, no mirrors, no wires. GTE Wireless.
The real changes in today's cars and trucks aren't always visible. New technology, new features. So we invite all our new car and truck customers back to the Barton Ford New Owners Seminar. It's an enjoyable and informative way for us to help you get all the value, safety, and performance out of your new car that Ford built into it. At Barton, caring's part of the deal.
Barton Ford Lincoln Mercury. World class.
Frasier, weeknights at 6:30 on Fox 33. You know, part of being a receiver is having to work through a lot of things. One of them is when you're trying to block somebody and just running a route. And the other one is you have to work through injuries. And after that, this was on the second down. And Antonio Freeman kind of pulled up and looked like he's holding his back.
Start of the fourth quarter, the Lions with a first down on the Packer 39. Barry Sanders. Anything he got there, and he got a couple, was on his own doing. He picked up about 4 yards.
Used to be when you played Barry Sanders and he came into the league, that if you missed him and you got up and missed him again, they dogged you, say you're a terrible tackler. Now they say that's a great effort. And here's the reason why. See, he doesn't even know where he's going. His head has no clue where his feet are. The only guy who knows where his feet are is his feet.
And they're not saying much. Second down and 7. Mitchell with a short drop, and the pass complete to Metzelars, the tight end, short of the first down. Right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to JB at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Dick, Buccaneers trailing 18-12, 4th and 6 on the 31. Dilfer. Blitz is picked up. He finds Carl Williams, 31 yards of pay dirt. Buccaneers on top, 19-18, that late in the 4th. Back to Detroit, Dick and Matt.
All right, JB, a thriller down at Tampa, Florida. Here is Barry Sanders. Needed 1 yard and got more than enough, and a first down to the Packer 26. Wayne Simmons on the tackle. Barry Sanders has gone over 100 yards for the 3rd straight game and for the 5th time in 6 games against the Packers. Early here in the 4th quarter, the Lions in front, 20-15. They go to number 20 again, and Sanders brought down by Bernardo Harris after a gain of about 3.
You can see the Packers allowed 4 100-yard games in all of 96. Now, this year, there's 7 of them already. 100 yards, this combined, obviously, rushing and receiving. As Fritz Shermer, their defensive coordinator, he's as aware of it as anybody.
2nd and 7. Mitchell going up top for Moore, for Johnny Morton, and defended by Roderick Mullen. Talking about that defense, and that was the concern that Mike Holmgren expressed in talking with him yesterday, because of he thought the tackling wasn't there. They weren't forcing enough turnovers.
Yeah, there's more to it than that, though. First of all, they got a lot of guys hurt. That's the big thing. And you have to remember, in defensive secondary play, you lose 1 guy, it affects 3 positions. You lose 2 guys, that affects 5 positions. That's number 1. Number 2, I don't think the Packers are in great physical condition. I think they get tired as the game goes on.
That's been evident on their defensive line down the stretch in many of their games. 3rd and 7. Johnny Morton, and he's got it at the 12, close to the first down.
Mitchell has been getting protection. He's been seeing the field well, and he's getting rid of the ball pretty quick. He's a pretty good thrower. Remember, Mitchell answered the bell today. Mitchell, we talked about earlier, had to be aware of what was going on around him, and then had to find the open guy. I think he's done that today.
And, you know, he was booed when he was brought out. That's not an easy thing, but a player's got to toss that away, obviously.
He does, and he lets it bother him sometimes. Talking to some of the Detroit people, they said he doesn't like when he's introduced and he's booed, but hey, you got to get over that.
He threw 3 interceptions and was sacked 5 times last week against New Orleans. But he has not made a mistake today, and those are his numbers, including a touchdown pass. 4th down and less than a yard. And the give is to Tommy Bardell. 1st down, Lions inside the 15. So the Lions maintain possession, leading by 5 points. Their biggest lead was at the half when they led 17-9. Bardell gets a hand as he leaves.
And this time they do get some push up front. Ray Roberts gets a push. Kriplevich stays on people, and Bardell just powers his way through. You know what? I think I have a new favorite name in the league, Kriplevich. It's like you go to a nice ethnic restaurant. I'll have 2 Kriplevich, please.
To the Metzelars. The throw to Kursky.
I'll have a Kursky.
Timeout called by the Lions with 11:35 to go in the 4th. But the Lions threatening to raise their lead more.
Listen, when I look at this car, it's the same way as if I'm looking at myself. You have to physically touch things. You have to use your visual senses. You smell. This is our AC sniffer. Listen, pings and dings and clicks and clacks, a buzz, a hum, a clink, a tick, an annoying anything that people normally wouldn't hear, I have to hear. It's not easy being me. I would say I'm the most critical person in the plant.
As you may have read on the internet, independent brewmasters and beer experts conducted a tasting of just about every major beer in the country. For 4 months, they sampled ice and regular beers for character, flavor, and overall quality. In the end, the judges named one beer the best tasting beer in America. Old Milwaukee. So when you want the best tasting beer, now you know exactly what to ask your server for. Old Milwaukee.
Not everybody appreciated it, but Terry was just trying to help.
Here's the key to don't blitz till you see it. Now you come in motion.
Terry was demonstrating how the Cowboys will neutralize the blitzing Bears defense by handing off to Emmett.
Who's going to cover? Red Dog!
Well, the guys got a little bit carried away.
If you ask me, Weezy was out of position.
Coming up next on Fox NFL Sunday, the Bears battle the Cowboys. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the owners, managers, and crew who proudly call the McDonald's in your neighborhood my McDonald's. By Old Milwaukee, America's best tasting beer. And by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
A very solemn bunch of Packer backers.
Look at that Packer backer. He got to look like this doesn't look good, boys. Time for somebody to make a play.
Lions calling a timeout to set up their play. 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Lions lead by 5. They give it to Barry Sanders. Sanders gets to the 11. Bernardo Harris making the tackle.
Now that's a yard gain. But do you see the play that Leroy Butler made right there?
Yes, I did.
Leroy Butler came up and took out the blocker and made Sanders jump back outside. This is one of those non-plays that you do everything right. Butler's up here at the top of your screen. Harding's coming outside, and here comes Schlesinger. Don't watch. Boom, go right under him and make him have to go wider, and that allows the tackle to be made by Harris.
10th play of the drive. Sanders bounces off the defender, but he's not going to get away from Roderick Mullen. And that'll be minus yards. It's 4 to be exact. Back to the 15-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down.
He's amazing. Barry Sanders is just amazing. Roderick Mullen, you go up there to tackle, and you just hope you hold on to something. You know, like he's going to give you that little bit of a hip or that dead leg where you think you have it and it's gone.
He's probably thinking if you hold on for 3 seconds, then that'll be enough.
Somebody else will go. Last time they were in this formation, they tried to go backside slot to Johnny Morton.
And this time they go to Glenn Milburn with his first catch of the game, holding on to the football. What a good 1st down inside the 5. They were trying to strip Glenn Milburn of the ball, but they couldn't do it.
Tyrone Williams made a great play. Tyrone Williams did not allow the first down. Look at this. You don't have to, all you have to do is get him down and don't allow him to get the first down. He pulls him back. He just held on because he wasn't going to give up the first. And that will force the field goal. That's what they had to get out of this. If you're Detroit, they had to get a field goal. Williams' tackle was a big play.
And if there's such a thing as a chip shot, I don't know if there is any more in the NFL. This would be it from 22 yards. Hansen is 2 for 2 today, and this kick is good. And the Detroit Lions now lead it by a score of 23-15 with 9:25 to go in the fourth quarter. As Williams saved the first down and almost got the football as well.
It begins with a step away from the known and a step towards the unknown. It will take you to ports halfway around the world and into uncharted waters deep inside yourself. Above all, it will demand your honor, your courage, and your commitment. It's your journey. Start it in the right direction. Call 1-800-USA-NAVY. Let the journey begin.
I'm Richard Hanna. I detail Saturns for delivery. It's fun. I take cars and I make them look even newer than they were, and people are just amazed. A lot of these people, when they buy Saturns, it's their first car, and if I were to get a very new car, you know, I expect it to be perfect. This is for our future detailers, so they can sit back here in the morning and get a little bit of shade. Saturn's a 100-year car company. I'm just thinking about the future. If you want some words of wisdom, keep your car clean. How's that?
Someone in Springfield is hiding their secret identity.
I don't have to listen to these wild allegations.
And all new Simpsons tonight at 8, 7 Central.
The Lions went with a cluster up top. They went 3 receivers to try to get the defenders to back off. Now watch Tyrone Williams. He's going to say, here's the first down marker up here. Right here. Now watch Compton down below. Compton also sees this. Williams stops him and starting to take him down. Watch Compton try to tackle him forward so that he can try to get the first down. That's a good job of being aware.
Jason Hansen kicking off after his field goal. Bill Schrader. Now it's Aaron Hayden returning the kick for the Packers. And he is hit hard. Good coverage by the Lions on the kickoff. And he gets shy of the 15-yard line.
Scott Kolakowski he lowered the boom, and I think he lost his shoulder.
Coming up next, our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader continues. Most of you will see the Bears take on the Cowboys or the Rams battle the Raiders. Don't miss more exciting NFL action coming up next, right here on Fox. Check your local listings for the game in your area. First down for the Green Bay Packers on the 14-yard line, and Aaron Hayden has an injured right hand. First down for the Packers on their 14. Favre with a rollout. And he drills it, knocked away, intended for Brooks. And Harry Colon with an alert play from the Lions secondary.
Yeah, he's pressing, trying to make a play. Brett Favre with his arm, knows he has that gun. Tried to gun the thing in there, but the reason he couldn't was there was coverage down the field.
Plenty of time remaining, 9:09 to go, an 8-point lead for the Detroit Lions.
Which, of course, is 1 score and a 2-point conversion.
Packers already tried a 2-point conversion and failed. That was their 10th play scoring drive allowed, most in the NFL by the Packer defense. That'll wear down a defensive unit. 2nd and 10 at the 14. Boyd misses Favre, and the pass is caught by Freeman. And they have an up and does for the first down.
That was all Brett Favre. Yeah, he has escapability. He can make you miss. Watch Boyd's going to come inside untouched. Nobody there. Watch the arm over. It's almost like a pass rush move. And then he stays with it and finds Freeman back inside, who works on Corey Raymond.
Packers with the ball on their 25. Here comes pressure and the handoff. Dorsey Levens. Levens being chased by Westbrook. And out of bounds into Lion territory at the 37-yard line. A gain of 39.
Antonio Freeman, his back is hurting, I can tell. Just as he's running and trying to block, he always goes back to holding his back. And then now he's on Westbrook. He tries to get the push. It turns into a foot race. Now watch Freeman at the end. When he has to try to pull up, he can feel it. They came with a blitz from the outside. They countered with the draw to the inside.
That 39-yard rush was the longest of Dorsey Levens' career. On the 36, they go right back to Levens, but this time it's shut down, led by Reggie Brown of the Lions. Lions were trailing 6-0 in the second quarter. They had failed to make a fourth and less than one, and Reggie Brown with an interception ran 45 yards, and that seemed to give the Lions a spark that has yet to be relinquished by the Packers.
Well, they've given up yards. I mean, they've given up 400 yards of total offense, which isn't a good day. But they've gotten the turnovers, and they've stopped them when they had to, which is the most important thing.
Barr's pass intended for Reggie Brooks.
See, that time, they tried to work again on the rookie Westbrook. They're playing too deep, so you attack that with the safety outside or to the middle. Early in the game, they were attacking it to the middle. This time, Westbrook outside does a nice job of forcing him wide. So you just get a little bump, and you force him a little wider. That allows the safety to come over. If you don't touch him, he runs clean. Safety can't get there.
Third down and 10 on the Lion 36. And Farr has the ball jarred loose. Recovered by the Packers.
Kevin Abrams came off the corner on a blitz, and as Farr was getting ready to throw, untouched, no awareness that he's there, and the ball gets slapped.
Abrams is only 5'8", but he's got good speed at cornerback.
You're going to watch him. He's coming right off the corner. It's just a matter of numbers, and actually, William Henderson went inside for Reggie Brown instead of outside.
Abrams, second-round draft choice from Syracuse, forcing the Packers to kick Craig Hendrick. Trying to keep it in the field, and Glenn Milburn calls for the fair catch. It bounces in, and Darren Sharper cannot keep it in play. So on the touchback, the Lions will get it back on the 20.
Jumping Jupiter, what is this?
The new Sprint store at Radio Shack, George. You could win communications for life.
I could win? Let's roll, let's roll.
It's the 21st century.
Win long distance, mobile phones, accessories,
and a free calling card just for coming in.
Win communications for life?
Don't even think about it.
The new Sprint store at Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
This is Joe Kahn. He is living the football fan's dream of a lifetime. Last season, he sold his house, bought an RV, loaded it up with red meat and Coca-Cola, and went off to tailgate at every NFL stadium in America. Joe's driven over 30,000 miles. He's gained at least 23 pounds. What could push a fan to go to these extremes?
I think this is heaven.
Ever think of driving an Oldsmobile? You will. The Oldsmobile Cutlass. Totally rethought.
7:01 remaining in the fourth quarter. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Detroit Lions and the NFL is prohibited. Lions with a first down on the 20-yard line. Barry Sanders. Nothing there. First hit by Gilbert Brown.
He's playing well. Hey, Gilbert Brown has played well. He has held the point. He's done what he's had to do. But let me tell you something. Now is the time for this defense. Remember we talked about Reggie White picking his spots? Now you pick your spot. You're down to 6.5 minutes to go in the game. You have to stop them here, get the ball back, give your offense a chance. Conversely, Detroit, they just have, to me, I'd keep handing it to number 20.
Second down and 10. Mitchell will put it in the air. And this pass is caught by Johnny Morton, and it's a first down as he beat Tyrone Williams. A gain of 11 yards.
Pretty good coverage out here by Tyrone Williams, and a nice route by Morton, knowing what he wants to do. Work him to the inside. That gives you some room to work back to the outside. The ball was thrown where it had to be, and again, they came with a blitz. It was picked up well by Detroit. Mitchell's able to find it.
Now, this is where the Lions, or the Packers, have been victim to long drives, getting tied in the fourth quarter. Let's see if the Lions can get one off on their own. Barry Sanders cutting inside. And he picks up good yardage, about 6 on that play. We have had 38 points. Scoring has been up, but look at the rest of those numbers to make this game a long contest.
Yeah, the 17 penalties slows things down also. 730 total yards. And the pass plays, of course, incompletions, stop the clock as well.
2nd and 5. Here's Barry Sanders. First down. Sanders brings it out to the 45-yard line. Well, the Lions are trying to keep the Packer defense on the field, and Matt has already referred to the fact that this team has tired down the stretch against long drives. Want to remind you, coming up next for most of you, the Dallas Cowboys back in action after a bye week against the Chicago Bears, still looking for their first victory. Darius Holland has replaced Gilbert Brown at tackle. Lions with 3 wide receivers on their 46. Give it to Barry Sanders. Another good first down gain of Barry Sanders. He got 6 that time before Wayne Simmons and Mike Breyer brought him down. And the most carries of the season for Barry Sanders today against Green Bay.
Yeah, and it's about time. We said they had to keep their patience and give him the ball more, and let's let him keep on running. And I would just keep on handing Barry Sanders the ball. Besides running the clock down and the time off the clock, he's going to get you your yards.
It's amazing how every team seems to play its best football against the defending world champions, and the Lions are doing that today.
That's the way it should be.
2nd and 4. Sanders does not get the first down as he is stopped short by about 2 yards. That'll bring up 3rd down. Gilbert Brown coming back to the fray. Brett Favre waiting for an opportunity to get his chance. The Packers need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie the game.
Packers need to stop them here on 3rd down to give themselves a chance.
3rd and 2. Here's Barry Sanders going outside, and Sanders gets the first down to keep it going.
Sanders got that by himself, too. Packers knew what they were going to do. They stretched it out the way they had to, and the free man is going to be the safety. Eugene Robinson, 41. See him right up there at the top? They're going to try to stretch this thing. Everybody in their gap. Hold your point. Hold the point. Here's where it has to be good. Right there it is. Make a miss, jump up inside, and get your first down.
Gilbert Brown leads. First down at the 43-yard line of Green Bay. Three-man defensive front for the Packers. And the give is to Ron Rivers going outside. Rivers with good power gets to the 30-yard line and another Lions first down, and they're wearing down the Green Bay defense.
He also stayed in bounds, which will take us to the 2-minute warning.
A gain of 13 for the little-used Ron Rivers, and there is an angry Reggie White. 2 minutes remain in the fourth quarter with the Lions up by 8.
Miller Lite presents.
You might not believe this, but a cheesehead actually saved my life. I was flying home from a Packer game in a small airplane and we crashed. The wings iced up and the plane went down. If it weren't for my cheesehead cushioning the impact, I would have been killed. The doctors tell me I'm a very lucky man. Tell me about it. I have season tickets.
Dick, the creator of Miller Lite Advertising, has great news for all football fans. This year, Miller Lite is an official beer sponsor of the NFL. That means that this season will be better than last season. Remember that woman with the huge hair who sat down in front of you while you were trying to watch the game? Well, that's not going to happen this year. Dick says, if you like that, you haven't seen anything yet. Stay tuned.
All they want is someone to go down for the crime.
For two out-of-control cops.
The man in the car is DEA undercover.
The best place to hide
We're going to find the killer.
is behind a badge.
We are the killers.
Gang-related. Rated R. Starts October 8th.
What do I know about computer networks?
What do I know about networks?
What do I know about setting up my own network?
Buckets.
Nada.
Nothing. Jack squat.
A deadly secret that strikes without warning and lives in every one of us. An all-new Millennium, Friday at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile retailers.
Two-minute warning here at the Silverdome in Pontiac. Brett Favre looking to get one more chance. The Lions trying to keep him off the field. First and 10 at the 30-yard line. Packers have all three of their timeouts remaining. Barry Sanders knocks Eugene Robinson back to the 25 and a good gain of 5. Right now, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood. JB?
Hey, Dick. Cardinals have gotten in good field goal range. 47-yarder for the game winner. Kevin Butler, wide right. Tampa Bay holds on, maintains their perfect mark. We will be in Green Bay next week where the undefeated Bucks will be taking on the Green Bay Packers, possibly with a 2-game lead. Back to Dick and Matt.
All right, JB, thank you very much. We'll be right back.
Ever think about taking the 1998 Cutlass for a test drive? On the inside, with leather trim, easy-to-reach controls, CD player, and standard V6 power, all for around $20,000. The only obstacles you'll think about are on the road. The Oldsmobile Cutlass, totally rethought.
Go where you wanna go. Find the road you've never taken.
This is the tire that changed driving forever. The all-season Goodyear AquaTread with the advanced deep groove aqua channel that sweeps water away for serious traction in the wet, especially in braking. Goodyear AquaTread.
Serious freedom. Goodyear, Goodyear.
It's coming.
Come on, bring it on.
Hold on to your drawers.
No!
It's the King of the Hill that'll blow you away. Tonight after The Simpsons on Fox.
Back at the Silverdome, the Packers have called a timeout there first to stop the clock with 1:53 remaining. They have 2 timeouts remaining. You saw that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won as Kevin Butler, who's been a hero so many times this year, Matt, missed a field goal that could have won it for the Cardinals. So the Buccaneers remain undefeated at 5-0 and could open up a 2-game lead over the Packers and the Lions and maybe the Vikings, who play later.
If Sanders has anything to say about it, they will.
2nd down and 6. And there's Sanders. Takes 3 guys to try to bring him down. They do to the 25, a gain of 1. And a timeout has been called by Green Bay. They have 1 left.
Hi, I'm Terry Bradshaw. In case you missed it, here's what you would have seen on Fox NFL Sunday.
Could you hit an apple off my boy's head? Well, I could if you made it a red apple instead of one of those gold ones.
Amazon been disappeared for about 3 weeks.
What are you laughing about?
There's other people on this show, you
Well, I know, but I had a lot. Watch Fox NFL Sunday. Next week, we're going to be in Green Bay, Lambeau Field. That'll be coming at you at noon Eastern and 9 Pacific.
Bobby Ross's Lions, minute 44 away from a big victory. The Packers now down to their last timeout. Right now in the NFC Central Division, Tampa Bay at 5-0. If Detroit goes on and wins this game, they'll be tied for second at 3-2. Minnesota plays later against Philadelphia, 2 games behind the Buccaneers. 3rd down and 5. Barry Sanders on his feet. Doesn't get to the sticks, and that'll bring up 4th down. Brian Williams in on the stop. And the clock stops at 1:35, and the Packers have used their 3rd and final timeout. So Green Bay is out of timeouts, and while we have a moment, we would like to thank some people. Today's game was produced by Richard Zients and directed by Artie Kempner. The associate producer is Larry Lancaster, and the broadcast associates Greg Scopatoni and Jacob Ullman. Our audio supervisor is Peter Saltans. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Don't forget, coming up next, the Bears against the Cowboys, who are 6-2 coming off of bye weeks.
Chicago Bears have themselves some problems. And they just don't have enough players. I think the guys they thought were players weren't players, and the guys they hoped were weren't. But I will say this for Wannstedt. Yeah, for Wannstedt, they'll play hard and they'll be in the game, and they just don't have enough.
So the Packers are out of timeouts. And here's a guy that really cut his teeth today with the action. Brian Westbrook going against Brett Favre, and receivers such as Freeman and Brooks, mostly Brooks. And as you pointed out, did pretty well for himself.
Yeah, he's on the right track. He's got the tools. He's going to get better. He's learning on the job. Heck, Robert Brooks had himself a career high today with yards in receiving.
Jason Hansen is going to come on to attempt a field goal. He has connected on 3 for 3 today, including a 53-yarder. This will be a 39-yard field goal.
Don't land on anybody.
Jason Hansen's kick is good. And it's 26-15 in favor of the Lions. The Packers need 2 scores. They have no timeouts remaining with 1:30 to go. It looks like a Honolulu blue and silver afternoon.
On Fox, NFL Sunday, the road trip continues as the pregame team leaves their Malibu home and returns to Green Bay. Then, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, and the Cowboys look to run wild, while Michael Strahan of the Giant defense are on a mission to shut them down.
The milkman loves the road games.
Yeah! Fox, NFL Sunday, next week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
Scott Mitchell, who's accepting congratulations, but keep in mind, they are playing the Packers, and they do have 1:30 remaining. And Mike Holmgren has been known to know what to call in situations like these, but not having any timeouts remaining really is a big disadvantage.
Yeah, but it's more than that, because 2 scores, and it's a 2-point conversion in between. And unless they have one of those 11-point pass plays, which I haven't seen for quite some time, it could be tough. You've seen it. Hey, Scott Mitchell answered the bell today.
Yes, he did.
Made the right decision. Read the coverages, got the ball out. His offensive line did a nice job of protecting him. And then, of course, Barry Sanders did what he had to do.
Jason Hansen kicking off into the end zone. Aaron Hayden will down it for a touchback. Barry Sanders, who carried 14 times in the fourth quarter after 13 attempts over the first 3, gained 139 yards. He was the #1 object for Fritz Shurmur before the game, as he is for every team he faces. Herman Moore went over 100 yards receiving with 6 catches. And now the Packers will start from the 20-yard line. No timeouts remaining, trailing by 11.
You know, you watch Sanders run, and you want to say it's a real good job by his offensive line of getting pushed, but what they do is a great job of occupying people and let him pick his spots.
Favre looking for a receiver. Robert Porcher gets to him, can't hold on. Flag is down, and Favre's pass, and it's intercepted. Favre ends up down. Mark Carrier makes the interception with a penalty marker down.
And it's holding number 78 offense.
Ross Verba holding, and the Lions going to seal it with this pick.
Well, you see, there's 3 blue rushers. That means there's 8 defenders, and that's why Brett Favre can't find anybody down the field. There's so many people down below. You have 5 guys out in the route, 8 guys are defending them. No place to throw the football.
And there's Carrier with the interception.
Carrier played well today, Dick. Mark Carrier played a very good game.
Great leadership coming from the Chicago Bears for this team. That's his 2nd interception of the year. So Brett Favre threw 3 interceptions today, and the Detroit Lions have now won 4 of their last 5 against the Packers in the Silverdome, where Detroit is always tough. And you remember, these teams used to play perennially on Thanksgiving Day when the games were played at old Brick Stadium and later Tiger Stadium and into the Silverdome.
There's an enthusiastic guy, huh?
We'll watch the highlights later.
That's about how the Packers played today. Asleep on their mom's shoulder.
And the Lions, after an embarrassing setback at New Orleans last week, have good reason to celebrate. So the Lions will go 3-2 on the year. The Packers will drop to 3-2. The Pack goes to home to face Tampa Bay, undefeated at 5-0 next week. As the NFC Central, been a great division. Holmgren and Ross shake hands at midfield. So for Matt Millen, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from the Pontiac Silverdome. The final score, the Lions 26, the Packers 15. Tuesday night on Fox, it's Game 1 of the American League Division Series as the Cleveland Indians meet the New York Yankees. Coming up next, it's Game 2 of our Fox doubleheader, as most of you will see the Chicago Bears take on the Dallas Cowboys. You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.